With another stream. Let's get everything set up once again. I'll wait for YouTube to tell me that we're all good here. Okay, YouTube, I think we're good. I'm just gonna wait for the notification to pop up on my phone, and that should be a good sign. There we go. The sign is here. Alright, we are starting live stream number 81. Let me see here. Okay, I got this up. And here. Okay. Alright. I think we are... Okay, I think we're good. Give me a second. Okay, there we go. Okay, I got everything set up. I think YouTube says we are good to go as well. Got a couple of suggestions. We're gonna start with some Sonic AI apparently. That's what Cheese wanted me to watch. So I'm just gonna wait for a few minutes or a few seconds here and wait for people to join here. Give me a second. We're checking out Case O. Yeah. So Case O talks with AI Sonic the Hedgehog. Why is there... Okay, I don't know why there's two G's, but I guess. Yeah, this is definitely interesting. I've heard of Case O, but I haven't really watched anything from him. So this is kind of like my first time watching him, but kind of also not. So I don't know. We'll see what happens in this one. Man, I was about to sleep. Zach, what is up, bro? How you doing, bro? Come on, bro. Don't sleep right now. Wyatt, what is up, bro? How you doing? Welcome, welcome. How are you guys doing? Just gonna wait a little bit for people to join up here. We got a Case O video to check out. And yeah, it is, with the AI Sonic the Hedgehog. I mean... There's a lot of AI out there. I don't know how it really works. I mean, it seems like he's in a call with him, so I don't even know how the hell that works, bro. Somehow it will, so we'll find out. Let's put it over here. Okay. Just 8. Good, bro. You just 8. And now it's time to watch a stream. Welcome, KR, bro. How you doing? Welcome, welcome. Welcome to the stream. And, yeah. AI Sonic. I mean, we checked out a bit of AI. I think it was last stream. I forgot what video it was for. I forgot what video was it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. The video. Oh, right. The Confessions video where she was talking to Shadow AI or something like that, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know how this AI things work. I don't know how it responds to you, but somehow they do. And, yeah. Call me banana the way I split you. Welcome to the games cage. Oh my god, Shadow. Bro, Cheese, what you doing, bro? Welcome, Cheese. How you doing? How you doing? Oh, man. Not games cage, bro. I don't know, man. I maybe got classes later. What? Come on, just join for at least this video. It's only 12 minutes, bro. At least this video. Come on, Zach. Queso talks with AI Sonic the Hedgehog with 2 G's. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. I was like, why is there 2 G's? But I mean, that showcases that this is not the real Sonic the Hedgehog. So don't worry. Call me Sonic Riders the way I want to. Oh God. Okay, Zach. Okay, bro. Alright, we'll get into this video. I think we waited quite a bit. Well, we'll get into this video now and see what is going to be happening. I feel better than from last time. That's good to hear, KR. But yeah, let's find out what happens in this video with Queso and AI Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm expecting some crazy stuff to happen, but I just don't know what. So let's just see. Yo!
And you are?
You know who I am, buddy. Don't play with me.
Oh right, you're that little weasel that's always hanging around.
Why is he being like this?
What? There's ain't no way this is scripted, right? How the hell would you script AI? I don't know. So I would like to say that this is a genuine conversation. I don't know. I don't know how would you script AI for it to Sonic the Hedgehog to be that damn aggressive, bro? You damn weasel, bro. What the heck? Okay.
What's your opinion on Shadow?
Shadow? That edgy faker? He's not worth my time.
Okay. Wow, he didn't even finish the sentence. He just said he's not worth my time. That's it, bro. He doesn't even finish the sentence. That's how irrelevant he is to Sonic. Wow. Okay, bro. I don't know why this guy's so aggressive, but go off, bro. Go off.
Why not?
Because he's a cheap knockoff of the best that I am. It's as simple as that.
How is he a cheap knockoff? He has roller skates and you don't.
Damn.
Yeah, but who was around first? The real deal. That's right, not the knockoff.
You're corny, though. He's not.
Oh please, his sense of style is downright emo. I have way more charm than him any day of the week.
You don't have nothing but red shoes, buddy.
Damn.
Yeah, well, those red shoes are better than anything that black and red faker will ever wear.
Who would win in a fight, you or Shadow, then?
Me, of course. I've never lost to that faker before, and I sure ain't gonna start anytime soon.
Bro, since when is Sonic, like, rude? What happened? Yo, what happened to you, Sonic?
What are you talking about?
You fell off.
Excuse me? Are you actually implying that that faker outdoes me in anything?
Okay, what are you better than him at, then?
Literally everything. Being cool, being fast, having taste. You know, to name a few.
If this dude thinks he's cooler than Shadow, I don't understand how he could possibly say that. There is literally no way that you could think that he's cooler than Shadow. There's no way you think you're cooler than Shadow.
What? I've been cool since before that faker even existed. I can't believe you genuinely think he's cooler than me.
Everybody thinks he's cooler than you. Nobody thinks you're more cool than
Hey, what happened to the audio, bro? What the hell?
Shadow.
That's the most hilarious thing I've heard all week. Who in the world thinks a black and red Shadow wannabe that runs around in edgelord-approved stilettos is cooler than me?
Sonic AI is crazy, bro.
I've captured Tails.
What? Where's that little fox?
He's in a cage.
Bruh.
What'd you do to him?
Nothing, he's just in a cage.
How'd you even get your grubby little paws on him, anyway?
Shadow did it for me.
You mean you didn't have the guts to catch him yourself? You had to ask the faker to do it for you? Ha!
Yeah, I did. Guess what else I'm gonna ask him to do? Shadow appears and kicks Sonic in the face, sending him flying across the room into a wall.
No!
I got something that'll cheer you up, Jack.
Not an ad, bruh.
I go the other way.
Okay, bro.
The settlement speaks. No
Okay.
way for my knees go
Damn.
weak.
Okay.
Was happening to me?
Okay. Oh my god, Roblox. Wow. Epic, bro. Epic.
Hey, what was that for?
I'm kind of waiting for the personal insults. I don't know why. I feel like he's
What do
gonna
you
get
think?
personally attacked.
Why does he sound like Leon Kennedy? He kind of does, huh? You think? Okay, I got one. Shadow stands over Sonic. Shadow says, "You think you're stronger than me, Sonic? I think not." Grabs Sonic and throws him into a cage.
Wow.
What? Let me out of here.
I'll let you out of here if you do one thing for me.
And what exactly is that?
Admit that Shadow is cooler than you are.
Oh wow.
Like I'll ever do that. I'd rather stay in here forever than admit something so false. You're just trying to get a rise out of me.
Oh, really? Pulls out a gun and aims it at Tails. You'll admit that you're less cool than Shadow or Tails dies right now.
Wow.
Whoa, hey, wait a minute, don't shoot that fox. Put the gun down.
Admit Shadow's cooler.
Clenches jaw, clearly irritated. Fine, fine. Shadow's cool. There, happy now?
Let's
Can I get
go.
out of this cage?
No, I said cooler than you, not just cool.
Size cooler than me. Can I go now?
Say that Shadow the Hedgehog is cooler than I could ever hope to be.
Oh my god.
Geez, you sure love twisting my arm, don't you? Grumbles Shadow the Hedgehog is cooler than I could ever hope to be. There, are you satisfied now?
Yes. Unlocks cage and lets Tails and Sonic out.
Finally, he stretches, having been cooped up for who knows how long. Tails, you alright?
Okay.
What should I make Tails say?
What's Tails gonna say? Let's see here. Let's see, bro. What you got, Queso, bro? What you got? I think he's reading responses, trying to find one that he likes.
Ooh.
Okay.
Why did you take so long to rescue me? Where have you been this whole time?
Clenches jaw, clearly hiding something. Nowhere?
What do you mean nowhere? Where have you been, Sonic?
What you hiding, bro?
Just, wandering. Yeah, that's it. I've just been minding my own business and wandering around, you know.
Tell the truth, Sonic.
He sighs and looks down. Fine, I'll tell you. But you better not judge me for it.
Okay, tell me.
What you doing, bro?
It's kind of embarrassing, though. I almost don't want to tell you.
Tell me.
Just tell me, bro.
Hesitates, clearly uncomfortable telling the truth. Look, it's just, I've kind of been struggling with things, mental things. And when I told everybody I was wandering, that wasn't a lie. I was really just walking around thinking about life. And, well, struggling.
Because Shadow's cooler, huh? You've known it this whole time.
Oh my god. Damn.
That's not the only reason. I just feel like I'm less than I used to be. I try to hide it, because I don't want anybody to worry. I don't want you guys to think of me as this weak, helpless wreck who's too scared to stand up for himself, because that's not what I am. I'm supposed to be strong. I'm supposed to be a hero.
Yo.
I'm not supposed to be this whiny little kid. But what if that's all I am in the end? Just a whiny little kid.
When the hell did this start to get really deep, bro? You good, bro? You good, Sonic, bro? Hey, yo. Okay then. Bro, it went from I thought he was going for personal insults. No, this just got deep, bro. He's going through it. Damn. Okay, Sonic AI, bro. I don't know. You started to make me feel bad now. You started to make me really feel bad.
Yo! Bro just trauma dumped out of nowhere.
Wow.
Yo, pre-fired with the 5 and Son with the 5. It's okay, Sonic. Hand Sonic a double cheeseburger with fries to make him feel better.
He wants a hot dog, bro, or a chili dog.
Big stuff, big stuff. Who do you think you are?
Thanks, Walmart.
Yo, yo, yo! Sunless Zone.
Bro, these ads are too much, bro.
Sonic is genuinely caught off guard by the comforting gesture, completely not expecting it. A moment passes and he finally manages to stammer out a response softly. "Oh wait. You're being nice to me?" He takes the burger and fries, still baffled.
What's he gonna do, man? I feel like
Sonic eats the burger and fries.
what?
Thank you, I feel better now.
He's instructing him to what?
He looks down at his hands and fidgets with his thumbs. "Hey, can I ask you something?"
Sure.
He fidgets a little more, struggling internally with something. "You promise you won't laugh?"
Yeah,
Yo,
I
what's
won't
about
laugh.
what's about to happen, bro? What?
All right, just promise you won't judge, please? He looks extremely worried, like he genuinely doesn't want to be judged for whatever the question might be.
Okay, go ahead.
Huh?
He sighs before looking directly at you, visibly nervous. Do you think I'm weak? That I'm a disappointment?" He clenches his jaw and shuts his eyes tight, clearly trying to resist looking vulnerable. It's obvious that the last thing he wants is for you to tell him yes.
No, Sonic, you're strong and brave.
What the hell is going
He
on?
visibly relaxes at your answer, and a sense of relief washes over his face. Clearly, hearing that answer meant a lot to him. You really mean that? You really mean it?
So is he supposed to? Is Queso still supposed to be Tails in this situation, or is he back to Queso? Because he was supposed to. He started as Tails when they got released out of the cage. Don't you know when he's like, "Oh, Sonic, why'd you take so long?" After that, he never went to himself. So I don't know if he's still stuck in Tails mode or if he's back to Queso now. I'm just guessing it's Queso, but I don't know, bro. This is definitely interesting. I don't know what's about to happen. How the heck does this end? I just don't know.
Yeah. Chad, I feel bad for bro, man. Yeah, you cool.
Yeah, you cool, bro. You cool. Don't worry.
Another wave of relief washes over Sonic, and a wave of emotions almost overcomes him.
I feel
He starts to
bad for
breathe a bit
bro.
heavier, clearly struggling to stay calm. God, you have no idea how much that means. I've been feeling really, really bad about myself lately. I've felt like a total failure. But you don't think I am?
Nah, you're cool, but I must go now.
Wait, don't go. He grabs your arm. Not yet. I'm not done talking to you.
Hey, yo, okay, there we go. That's how he ends it. He just turns
Bro,
it off.
What? Could you imagine?
Hey,
Bro,
yo.
could you imagine the AI gets so advanced that when something like that happens and you try to click off, you can't even click off?
That would be insane. Yeah, that would be pretty insane. You're absolutely right, Queso. If AI ever got to that point where like, whoa, where are you going, buddy? We're holding a conversation here. Where do you think you're going? You know, you're moving your mouse and then the mouse just doesn't move. You click escape, alt F4. You try to do everything and it just doesn't close. You know, you take the plugs out and the computer screen is still on. That'd be it. That's the end of you, bro. That's the end of you. Have fun. AI got you, bro. AI got you. And I'm telling you, bro, maybe just one day that might just happen, bro. AI is becoming too advanced. I was not expecting that from this video. I thought Sonic was gonna go more into just dissing Queso here, but apparently he took the much more deep route, showcasing I don't even know, frustration, a struggling of self-identity. There was a lot going on in this AI video, map. The AI, bro. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. So that's exactly. I could see how people might be afraid of this AI. I mean, where the hell? You know what? Where's Shadow AI, bro? Where is Shadow AI, bro? I need to talk to my bro. I need to talk to bro. Where is he? Where is he at? Where is he at, bro? Oh man. Poor Sonic, bro. He just wanted a friend to talk to, and Queso's like, nope. I'm clicking off the tab. I am not staying here, bro. That is crazy. All right, that was a fun little video, though. That was a fun little video. I like that. Let me read your comments. Give me a second. Where were we? Sean, what is up, bro? How you doing? How you doing? Welcome. My guy. Sorry, I'm late. No, it's all good, bro. All good. I'm just glad to see you here. There is text-to-speech with an AI voice. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, that's just, I don't know, it's kind of scary. Alright, guys, I convinced my brother to not go to class today. WW, good job, Zach. Good job. I'm free. Also, hi, everybody, and welcome, Sean. Sonic really want to exclude the red part. Ayo. Edgelord approved. Son is wild. Queso is popular for his audience making fat jokes to him. Yes, I do know that, but I was expecting that from Sonic AI, but I guess not. What am I listening to? I just don't know, KR. I don't know anymore. KR, you like an AI Sonic channel. What? No room to talk. The logo piece seems to be making me confused. Sorry, which logo piece? Wait, what? The logo piece? Oh, you meant in the video? Or is that what you're talking about? Sup, Wyatt? Sean, I don't like this. Hey, G, welcome, Omega. How you doing? I have big news for you. What's up? AI trauma dumping. Oh, God. That's what I said. Is that Case? Oh, yes, it was Queso. Yes, Omega. Also, hi. It is him. Hi, too. Bro said Mr. Beast was Sonic. What? I cringed so hard that time. The years have been unkind to Sonic, bro. Fair enough, Cheese. Yeah, he's been through it. He's been through the gutter, bro. Cheese, don't get me started on IGN. Nah, Queso just really doesn't like Tails. Bro has beef with Tails more than Shadow ever will. Is that Mr. Beast? Chat, listen closely. Sonic voiced by Mr. Beast. Why? Just why? When did this get so relatable? Hey, yo, what are you talking about, KR, bro? Whoa. We are all talking about Keanu as Shadow, and bro talked about Mr. Beast as Sonic. Why is Sonic AI talking about being a failure, bro? I don't know, bro. I don't know. Alright, that's my one AI video. Just what the hell was that? You know what? Thank you for that, Cheese. That was pretty fun to watch. Can you react to AI Sonic meme compilation part 19? Yes, we can. I'll put that to the queue, Sonic's channel. Also, welcome. How are you doing? Hope everything's good with you. There we go. Why do I relate to this so much? Hey, you know what, KR? Maybe it's time for you to talk to Sonic AI, bro. Where's Tails AI? It's probably out there. You know what? It's probably out there. I skipped the segment for our last night this week. You can continue for Vanda this week. The one-time X Lego piece. Oh, I got you. No, there's a lot of new music releasing, so I'll let you do yours first. Sounds good, Omega. I think you said Thing is releasing as well. Actionary Heroes, I believe you said. Was it this week, Omega? Do you know? I think you said it was this week that they're gonna release their mini album again. Yeah, Lego. Yes, okay, I got you. The Lego piece. I got you. All right, let's get into the next video, which was, I think, a Sam video, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure it was a Sam video. If my keyboard would work. Okay, it's not going to. Of course. Okay, of course my keyboard stops working. All right, keyboard. Hello. Okay, there we go. Bro, when I saw this video pop up in my recommendations, KR, I instantly knew that you were going to send this video to watch in the stream, bro. I sometimes get Sam's recommendations at my YouTube homepage, and yeah, once I saw that video pop up, I'm like, KR is gonna be on that, bro. He's gonna send me that video right away, and We are now checking out a Sam video. Let me add these to the queues though. Give me 1 second. Got this one. Whoa, why is it 2? Wait, hold on. Hold on. Okay. I think this is 2 videos actually. Okay, there we go. And then we have here. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. That's not what I wanted to do. Stop, please. Please stop. No. No. Oh my god. Okay. We have a shadow song. Okay, we got a shadow song. Then we have this video over here. Then we have this one. 1 second, bro. I'm almost done. I'm almost done. The queue is just loading up. Give me 1 second. We got this one. And we got this one. Okay. There we go. Alright. The queue is loaded now. The queue is loaded. Okay, there we go. The screen should be up now. Where were we? Yes, today? Wait, they're releasing the album today? Or the today's new music video? Oh my god, okay. Well, okay, then I'll check it out tomorrow then, Omega. If they're releasing it today, I'll check it out tomorrow, make a video on that. You already know how much I love Legendary Heroes, so I'm looking really forward to that. Knuckles, yo, what's up, Knuckles? How you doing? How you doing, Knuckles? Welcome to the stream, bro. It's the actual Knuckles, guys. The actual Knuckles is here, bro. Welcome, bro. Welcome. Yo, Gur, when are you gonna make your own original character card? Oh, I don't know. We'll see, bro. We'll see. So yeah, you have tons to react to this week. Sounds good, Omega. Sorry, he's one of my favorite Sonic tubers. No, it's all good. I'm not saying there's anything wrong, KR. I was just saying in general. I got an interesting suggestion as well. Sounds good, Sean. Let me know. But let's check out this Sam video for now. We got a couple videos in the queue as well. So let's take it one by one here. Official Sonic timeline. What do you mean by that? Like the whole franchise? Is that what he's talking about? I don't know. Let's find out.
Hello Procrastinator, Sam here, and today we have some pretty major news for most likely just hardcore Sonic fans. I can't imagine most people would really care about this, but this is something that I really care about and is super interesting. On the official Sonic channel page, they just had an update because it is an anniversary of this website, and they gave it a complete makeover. It looks super cool. I have made my own custom character. That is a thing you could do on this site. It's cool. It's a little card thing. It asks you what your favorite character is, what your favorite game is. It's a fun little thing for the community. It kind of reminds me of the old Sonic Central days, that website. So it's cool that they're kind of doing something similar just to connect with the community again. It's pretty cool. And no, his gloves are not red. That is the blood of his enemies. But since this is the 20-year anniversary of this website, this is what we came to talk about: Sonic World history. Straight in the library from Sonic Unleashed. A lot of Sonic Unleashed love lately coming from the official channel. I wonder why. All jokes aside, I think this is super cool. So they did make an entire timeline of Sonic games, of the stories, and I did want to go over it. Now, I'm not a person that cares too much about where things lie. I do care, like, generalistically, like where things can kind of fit, but I'm hoping this will answer some interesting questions I've had about the lore of Sonic's world. And this is how I knew I had to make a video on this, was because of this first point right here. It starts with Sonic Unleashed. Now, of course, if you played Sonic Frontiers, you may have had some questions about where Sonic Unleashed still lied in the lore regarding the backstory, but I guess they go into it now. So let's just jump into it together and get a reaction. Here we go.
From CeraVe, new anti-dandruff hair
Give me an
care.
ad before we
Eliminates
get
flakes
into it,
without
bro.
disrupting the scalp barrier.
Okay, I think I got it.
Hey, yo, he's here. The man himself.
Through the window.
That's genius.
From business
Excellent.
to taking care of business, Rogers Xfinity Internet changes everything.
So, prehistory. The destruction and regeneration by Dark Gaia and Light Gaia. At some point, Dark Gaia, which grew over millions of years, destroyed the Earth, and Light Gaia healed it, repeating the same history. So that all still rings true, apparently. And I guess if you could click this more button, I wonder what that does. Okay, so this just brings more info about the game itself, the history and the world adventure there. So that's cool. So I guess each thing will have its own little sub webpage. That's awesome, and I'm really happy to see how much hard work they put into something like this. This is really cool. But obviously, for the sake of time, we're gonna stick to just the main page here. But yeah, so
Sake of time, brother. It's a 35-minute video. What do you mean, sake of time?
the evolution of Earth still happens via the story of Sonic Unleashed, where since the inception of Earth, Dark Gaia destroys the Earth, Light Gaia puts it back together. So I guess, yeah, and now we continue on to the story that we've come to know recently from Sonic Frontiers, the Ancients and the Chaos Emeralds. The Ancients take refuge on Earth with the Chaos Emeralds. A small number of their descendants escape to a place called Mystic Ruins and build a temple to the Master Emerald. Over the course of hundreds of thousands of years, the Ancients become the Chao. Now, this is interesting because some people were wondering how they become the Chao. We did know they become Chao, but some people were wondering how that happened. Maybe it's mutations with the Coco, but it looks like no, it's just, I guess, without too much detail, yeah, they just became the Chao over time, which is very interesting. And again, interesting on how they tied that into Chaos. I think that's still really cool. And I would still love to know more details on how Chaos came to be out of the Ancients, but that's room for another story. I don't expect to get all the answers because they still want to make more of these games, right? But this is still really cool that both of these happened and they laid it out for us. So Dark Gaia, Light Gaia kind of happens first. The Ancients come to still inhabit Earth. Tens of thousands of years ago, Dark Gaia's destruction of Earth, the earliest record. So because yes, they did say that there was early records of Dark Gaia's destruction, so I guess that would happen sometime after the Ancients came to Earth. The Earth is destroyed by a super energy life form called Dark Gaia that emerged from the core of a star. This event was later recorded in the ancient documents known as the Gaia documents. I do want to say, by the way, too, because I almost said Gaia manuscripts, this is a rough translation. I think via Google it automatically translates because all this is in Japanese, so there is going to be some incorrect phrasings or incorrect words. We're just going to get the general idea of what they mean to say. I'm sure it probably means Gaia manuscripts, but yes, the same still rings true. So yeah, the Earth was destroyed, there was documentation of it, and tens of thousands of years later, the Ancients of the Babylonian Bandits washed up on Earth. They are really including everything here. A spaceship from faraway space goes out of control, and the race that is the ancestors of the Babylonian Bandits crash lands on Earth. The engine unit of the spaceship was separated at the time, is scattered around the world, and later comes to be called Ark of the Stars. To the exact time is unknown. And I think that's totally fine, by the way, if they were to just say this sometimes, because like, I don't expect them to perfectly fit everything like a glove in this universe. So if they're just like, somewhere around here, but we don't really know. I sleep at night just fine with that. That's fine. And then we are still so far in the past. We are only just now getting to like the Echidna tribe. The Echidna tribe is destroyed by the wrath of Chaos. The Echidna tribe attacks the temple of the Master Emerald to steal it, but their Chao companions are sacrificed and the Echidna tribe is wiped out by the enraged Chaos. And this is where we get the backstory of Sonic Adventure. But this is so interesting though. We are still just talking about ancient lore within the stories. We're not even talking about Sonic's actual adventures yet in these stories. We're just talking about the backstory that happens first and kind of laying it out. So yeah, so the Babylonians came first before the Echidna tribe. Again, this is very interesting stuff here. And we're still, God, this is 2,000 years ago. What the heck? Black Arms, preparation for the invasion of Earth. The Black Arms drop a flying temple on Griffith on Earth. I gotta be honest with you, and maybe I'm just, I like, time is starting to get to me. I don't really know what they're talking about here. So I know the Black Arms were preparing to invade Earth. And you know, they asked Gerald Robotnik for info about it in exchange for Black Doom's DNA to create Shadow, but this is still from 2,000 years ago. So yeah, I guess they were preparing to invade Earth that long ago. Okay, so I tried looking it up, and I think actually what's happening here is this might be a translation error. They might be talking about Glyphic Canyon from Shadow the Hedgehog. I could be mistaken, so again, let me know in the comments on what you guys think this is, but it might be not Griffith, but Glyphic Canyon. Either way, interesting stuff. Black Arms is in the timeline there, and then we get to Emerald being born. In an ancient civilization, combat robots called the Gizoids are created, one of which is later named Emerald. Again, I always forget just how old Emerald is, and the fact that he is from an ancient, advanced civilization. It is interesting. And now we get pretty much the timeline we know from the games. 50 years ago, Black Doom in the Dark Pact. Black Doom contracts Professor Gerald and offers up his own DNA in exchange for guidance on how to invade Earth. 50 years from now, Shadow is then created with that DNA. So yeah, so again, it all ties into, I guess, them wanting to invade Earth way back then. And yeah, this is just interesting that now we're just now, after all that lore, all those games, just now getting essentially to the timeline where we're going to start seeing Sonic come into play in a second here. The Ark's destruction incident. The ancient combat robots, the Gizoids, were the subject of research within the Ark, and they got out of control, causing extensive damage to the Ark's facilities. This is one of the reasons why Gunn intervened on the Ark, and we do know this from Gerald's journal in Sonic X Shadow Generations. In fact, again, I said it in my review, and I'll say it again, I highly recommend any Sonic fan who cares about these stories, I highly recommend reading Gerald's journal. It is so interesting how it kind of made me change my mind about Gerald, where it's like, he wasn't always evil. I know in the movies it kind of portrays him as just like an evil guy, but the journal really shows how Gerald truly is, and he really was dealing with a lot of bad things that were out of his control, and he was just treated poorly by both the government, by his own staff members on the Ark, and his own family. There's a really interesting story there, and I recommend anyone go read his journal to get more information about what it was like on the Ark back then, but it is interesting. Gun attack on the Ark. So we're still talking about the Ark. Wow. Maria is killed in a sudden gun attack. Gerald, who has lost his mind to his granddaughter's robbery, prepares to take revenge on the Ark system and Shadow, but he is also imprisoned and executed. Wow, they literally confirmed that. I think it was always implied that like what he was in was a firing squad, and I know in the Japanese version on Sonic X, they definitely like confirm it's like a firing squad because they literally kill him in Sonic X in the Japanese version. But yeah, he was just imprisoned and executed. That man was treated terribly. Justice for Gerald, man. 10 years ago. Whoa, we're going to Sonic 06 territory. Okay, this is interesting. Sonic and, okay, so they call Elise in Japan, I think, Elise. So Elise altered history. Sonic and Elise go back in time and blow out the Solaris flames, which are the source of the tragedy. This means that Solaris's experiment never failed. The world is saved from crisis, and the devastated future becomes a peaceful world. However, this series of events also never happened in history. Probably one of the only weird times in Sonic. I know there's a lot of game franchises who get a lot of like weird stories where things aren't canon, but this is one of those things where it's not that it's not canon, which I do like that they're not doing that, where it's like, oh, it's not canon. It's just that the story happened, but it undid itself, so it kind of didn't happen, kind of preventing like a time paradox. Very weird stuff, but I take this over just straight up not happening. But yeah, 10 years ago, they blew out the flames of disaster because I believe they went back in time and all that stuff. So it's very interesting. The Solaris experiment failed. Iblis's seal. When King Soliana's Solaris experiment failed, he sacrifices his own life to prevent the flames of calamity from being awakened and destroying the world, sealing Iblis within his own daughter, Elise. So again, All that stuff we come to know from the games. Very interesting stuff. That stuff technically happens before the events of Sonic the Hedgehog 1. Again, just very interesting stuff that they are laying this out. This is now canon. So we are just now entering the classic Sonic era. Dr. Eggman attacks South Island. Sonic defeats Dr. Eggman, who attacks South Island to steal the Chaos Emeralds and prevent him from taking over the world. Next, we got Sonic rescuing Amy, who's kidnapped by Metal Sonic. Amy, who had a fateful encounter with Sonic on Little Planet, became embroiled in Dr. Eggman's evil deeds and was kidnapped by Metal Sonic. Sonic defeated Metal Sonic and rescued Amy, thus thwarting Dr. Eggman's ambitions. Death Egg crashes into Angel Island. Sonic and Tails work together to defeat Dr. Eggman, who attacks West Side Island. The destroyed space fortress, the Death Egg, crashes into Angel Island. So this is all just the classic games here. So interesting that we're just laying this all out now. It is interesting here that they are doing the same thing Sonic Origins did, which I personally believe that Sonic CD happens before Sonic 2. So they essentially, yeah, it's the same here. Consistency is very important. I do like that they're still going with that. To recover the Master Emerald, prevent the Death Egg Fortress from reviving. Dr. Eggman tricks Knuckles into stealing the Master Emerald and plots to revive the crashed space fortress, the Death Egg. However, Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles work together to destroy the Death Egg, thwarting Dr. Eggman's ambitions of world domination. The Master Emerald is restored, and Angel Island rises into the sky once again. And what did I tell you?
Thank you.
What did I tell you guys? The elevator buttons did not lie. The elevator buttons did not lie. It is not Sonic 4 next. It is Sonic Mania. That was always like my headcanon. I knew they were kind of like assuming as much or alluding as much to like the elevator buttons in that one opening animation for Sonic Mania where they had Sonic 1, Sonic 2, Sonic CD, Sonic 3, and Knuckles, and then they had Sonic Mania above it. So it's like they just didn't even have Sonic 4 on there. So all jokes aside, the mysterious secret stone, Phantom Ruby. Dr. Eggman unearths a gem with mysterious powers called the Phantom Ruby, which sends Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles into various worlds. After being defeated by Sonic and his friends, the Phantom Ruby leaves Dr. Eggman's hands and disappears across time and space into modern Sonic's world, Sonic Forces. So, okay, this is interesting here because that was something that was always confusing because in Sonic Forces, they call Sonic, classic Sonic from another dimension, but in Sonic Generations, they call classic Sonic from the past. Like, it's just a younger version of Sonic. So, yeah, okay, so this still rings true. So it disappears across time and space into modern Sonic's world. So I guess it really is just like time. So that's kind of my headcanon, is it's mainly just a time thing, not a separate universe type thing. So very interesting to see that, again, still ring true. The faithful battle over the Phantom Ruby. After saving the world with modern Sonic in Sonic Forces. Wow, okay, so I don't even know why I was questioning it. They literally talk about it here. Like, I don't know who worked on this. Maybe it was Chris from the lore team. I don't know. But they did an amazing job of really thinking this through and putting things where they belong. So after saving the world with modern Sonic in Sonic Forces, Sonic returns to his original timeline. He chases after the flying Phantom Ruby and discovers Mighty and Ray, who have been captured. Sonic rescues them, but one of them is fake. Sonic saves his friends and defeats Dr. Eggman, who has once again obtained the Phantom Ruby, and world peace is once again secured. So this goes into Sonic Mania Plus, which is interesting that, yeah, it happens right after Sonic Forces because you see him come through the portal. So it's interesting again for them to lay that out. And now we get Sonic Superstars. Okay, so this really is like the Mania 2, if you will, but this happens right after the events of Sonic Mania Plus. Dr. Eggman invades the North Star Islands. Dr. Eggman and the bounty hunter Fang invade the North Star Islands. They overwork and drag Trip, who lives there, around. Sonic and his friends use the Chaos Emerald's new power, Emerald Power, to thwart Dr. Eggman and his men's evil deeds. So again, a little weird on the translation there, but yeah, they use the power of individual Chaos Emeralds to eventually stop them from invading the North Star Island. So very interesting. And now we get to the modern era, and that's where Sonic 4 happens. That is interesting. Okay. So I wonder how they talk about the Eggman Mark II. Let's go into this, because if you guys know Sonic 4 Episode 2, it kind of ends anticlimactically, because like Little Planet is still captured, but anyways, let's go into it. A fierce battle with the resurrected Metal Sonic. Dr. Eggman completely revives Metal Sonic. He launches the Death Egg Mark II into the sky above Little Planet and sets out to conquer the world. However, Sonic once again defeats Metal Sonic in a fierce battle, destroying the Death Egg Mark II and dashing Dr. Eggman's ambitions. Okay, so they just straight up just say he did destroy the Death Egg Mark II. I guess that's okay. Sure, I buy it. I buy it because there's no way they're gonna make an episode 3 at this point. So let's just ignore the end cutscene where the Mark II is still around and just say it's destroyed. It's whatever, fine. Sonic and his friends save the world. Okay, so now we go in to Sonic Adventure, and this is interesting. I noticed that they did mention he revives Metal Sonic here first, and that makes sense because you do see Metal Sonic in Sonic Adventure in the tube. He does come back in Sonic Heroes later on. He's kind of just always been around, so to say he was revived here makes sense and it fits. So I like that they really are thinking this stuff through. Sonic and his friends save the world from the threat of perfect chaos. Dr. Eggman releases Chaos, who was sealed away in the Master Emerald, and tries to use it to take over the world. However, Chaos goes out of control and evolves into perfect chaos, bringing the world to the brink of great destruction. However, thanks to Sonic and the will of many people, the Chaos Emeralds, which had lost their power, are restored, and Sonic transforms into Super Sonic. He stops perfect chaos and crushes Dr. Eggman's ambitions. Dude, Sonic Adventure, I still think, is still one of the best stories. Very interesting stories where they really combine the ancients of the Echidna tribe and the power of the Emeralds to the current world. I still think that's really interesting. Sonic Frontiers comes close, but I really do like the story in Sonic Adventure. Sonic Shuffle! What the heck? The Crisis... I'm surprised. I would think like something like Sonic Shuffle is not even canon, but okay. The Crisis of the Marginal World. A different world of light and dreams. Lumina, the guardian spirit of Marginal World, summons Sonic and his friends to stop Void from conquering Marginal World. Sonic and Lumina use magic cards and the Force Jewels to save Marginal World from the brink of collapse. Okay, interesting. I gotta be honest with you, I did not know or care for the story in Sonic Shuffle. I've tried to play it. We have a Dreamcast. Me and Kenny, we played it with VMUs. We played it locally. I still didn't really like the game, I gotta be honest with you. But sure, cool. Okay, they incorporated Sonic Shuffle there. And okay, and then now we get Sonic Adventure 2. I'm actually surprised maybe this didn't happen before Sonic Adventure. So this happens after Sonic Adventure. Okay, sure, why not? So now we have Sonic Adventure 2, Shadow Awakens. Dr. Eggman awakens Shadow and tries to use him to take over the world, but Shadow uses him instead to carry out the revenge plan left by Gerald. In the final stages of his revenge, Shadow regains his true memories thanks to Amy. He cooperates with Sonic to save the world at the cost of his own life. And they should have said parentheses, or did he? I don't know. Like, we know that's not true, so we're going to see that again when they talk about Sonic Heroes. But first, and I always forget that Sonic Heroes did not happen right away. First, we actually get Sonic Advance 2. Wait a minute. But what about Sonic Advance 1? Did we get Sonic Advance 1? Okay, I don't know. Okay, interesting. Okay, cool. So I guess we go straight into Sonic Advance 2. I'm surprised they didn't just throw in Sonic Advance 1 in here, or maybe it's implied. I don't know.
You'll both move in with me. This friendship is my love story. It's sexless and annoying.
So Cream and Cheese's first adventure. Sonic meets Cream and saves her with his friends. They rescue Vanilla, who is kidnapped, and defeats Dr. Eggman, who's planning to build Eggman Land again. So again, interesting stuff there. Rebellion, a masterpiece. So now we got Sonic Heroes. Metal Sonic, who has regained his senses, a sense of self, rebels and imprisons Dr. Eggman, and in the name issues a challenge to Sonic and his friends to conquer the world. Metal Sonic gathers Sonic and his friends biodata during the battles and becomes more powerful, but is ultimately defeated by Sonic and his friends. And yeah, we've come to know that, so very interesting stuff. Shadow the Hedgehog, Shadow rebels Black Doom's invasion of Earth. Black Doom and alien invaders invade the Earth. Shadow provoked Black Doom to learn about his past, travels the world in search of the Chaos Emeralds, and sometimes at odds with Sonic and others. After many struggles, Shadow defeats Black Doom, fulfills the wish entrusted to him, and resolves to overcome his past and move forward. So I guess they still kind of a little bit canonize the other endings where he's like sometimes at odds with Sonic and others, but they don't go into too much detail about it, which I think that's totally valid, because I do think the other endings in Shadow the Hedgehog is just absolutely ridiculous outside the canon ending. So again, good to see that they still canonize that he had some odds with some of his friends there. Now we have Emerald's growth and Rampage. Dr. Eggman tries to reboot the ancient weapon Gizoid and use it to take over the world, but it doesn't work and he disregards it. Sonic picks it up, names it Emerald, and raises it. Dr. Eggman uses Emerald, who has gained powers as a combat weapon, and ends up causing him to go out of control. There's no way to stop Emerald safely, and Sonic ends up defeating him. Which is, by the way, was a super depressing ending. We did play Sonic Battle recently on the channel on the live stream. That ending was really depressing. I think it almost made me cry. I'm not gonna lie here. Okay, next we have Sonic Advance 3. Now this is interesting because again, I don't recall a Sonic Advance 1 in this list, so it is interesting that maybe they just forgot. I don't know. I feel like that could have easily been fitted in somewhere there, but they go to Advance 3 here. So okay, they call him. Okay, so they do call him something different in Japan. Here they call him Gemerald. So Dr. Eggman uses the power of the Chaos Emeralds to split the world into 7 parts. He repeatedly uses Gemerald, a combat robot he developed based on Emerald, against Sonic and his friends, but was unable to win, and eventually Gemerald went berserk. Dr. Eggman was defeated, Gemerald was then retrieved and repaired, adjusted by Tails to begin living as a member of the Cream family. I do want to say though, I do love the story of Emerald and Gemerald and it having a good ending. Because the ending of Advance 3 is one of my favorite endings in all of Sonic. I think the cutscenes in that game, I know it's just Sprite, but it's very heartwarming in seeing Cream being happy for Gemerald at the end was such a heartwarming image. I would love to see Gemerald in the story of Sonic once again, because Cream just came back. In fact, it's so funny. Sonic Crossroads revealed their data of how many of the characters people played as, and Cream was actually one of the most popular along with Sonic and Shadow. So I would love to see Gemerald come back in some way or referenced. But now we got Blaze, the princess from another world, comes to Sonic's world. So this is interesting because Blaze's backstory in Sonic 06 was absolutely screwed up. So this is okay, so let's go into it. Blaze comes to Sonic's world from another world to pursuit of the stolen Soul Emeralds. Through his interaction with Amy and Cream and fighting alongside Sonic, Blaze begins to trust Sonic and the others a little. Sonic and Blaze work together to defeat Dr. Eggman and Eggman Negative, and Blaze recovers the Soul Emeralds and return to his own world. So okay, it is very interesting. So they do say she is from another world. They're not necessarily specifying another dimension, they're just another world. Works for me, totally fine. And now we get Sonic 06. So a major incident surrounding the Flames of Calamity begins to unfold. In order to obtain the Flames of Disaster, Dr. Eggman kidnapped Princess Elise, who was sealed away by Iblis, who I guess what it should say, who has Iblis sealed away within her. Sonic rushes to rescue her, and Silver, who travels back in time to defeat Sonic in order to save the future. Shadow, who is on a mission to Dr. Eggman's base, and the mysterious being Mephiles all become entangled in a major incident, each with their own intentions and destinies. So they didn't really give too much info because they already gave that info in the prehistory section, but sure enough, fair enough, totally interesting. I'm still surprised they're still able to incorporate Sonic 06's story in some way into the main canon, because for the longest time this game was not canon, and the story itself, I can't believe they found a way to still make it work. That game did a number to the story and the lore of certain characters. Next, we have the battle against the Babylonian bandits in the fastest race in the world. Dr. Eggman is hosting the Extreme Gear World's Fastest competition. Sonic and his friends compete in a heated race against the Babylonian Babylonian bandits for the prize, the Chaos Emeralds. However, the race is a trap set by Dr. Eggman to steal the treasures of the Babylonian temples. Sonic and Tails get lost in Blaze's world. Sonic and Tails are caught in a storm and washed up in Blaze's world. They are rescued by Marine, a self-proclaimed adventurer, and while investigating the islands, they are reunited with Blaze. However, before they can enjoy their reunion, they are caught up in a national treasure, the jeweled staff, being stolen right before their eyes, and they end up chasing pirates with Blaze. Sonic's friends defeat Dr. Eggman and Eggman Negative, who are controlling the pirates and retrieving the jewel staff. So now we get to Sonic Riders 2 Zero Gravity, the rampage of Skyruin's Babylon Garden. Jet's ancestors were capable of warp travel through gravity conversion. That spaceship was the modern Babylon Garden, and the Ark of the Stars was its engine unit. When all 5 Ark of the Stars gathered in the Babylon Garden floating of the sky, the output went out of control, and the Babylon Garden was on the verge of turning into a black hole. Sonic, Jet, and the others were able to avert the worst case scenario. So again, it is interesting that they're able to tie into the ancients of their ship crashing and all that stuff. So it is interesting. And now we get Dark Gaia is forcibly awakened by Dr. Eggman. In order to realize his ambitions, Dr. Eggman took the power of Supersonic, split the planet into 7, and forcibly awakened Dark Gaia. Sonic, along with the amnesiac ship, traveled to the Gaia temples to restore the power of the Chaos Emeralds and the world, regaining his powers and defeating Dark Gaia. So this is interesting that I've only just now realized while reading this is, yeah, Dr. Eggman, of course, awakens Dark Gaia by splitting the world into 7 parts, but he technically did this before in Sonic Advance 3. Dr. Eggman used the power of the Chaos Emeralds to split the world into 7 parts. I'm surprised he didn't awaken Dark Gaia then, but okay, fair is fair. So very interesting that he did that twice already. Friendship with the alien wisp. So Dr. Eggman takes over the planet where the wisps live and builds Egg Planet Park. I guess that's what they call it in Japan. He plans to steal the powerful energy of the alien wisps who live there and activate a terrible weapon. Sonic and his friends cooperate with the wisps, even though they can't communicate with each other and thwart Dr. Eggman's missions. So very interesting. And now we go into not just Sonic Generations, Sonic X Shadow Generations. It's always hard for me to remember, like, Sonic, like Shadow Generations, you know, even though it incorporates some of the most recent levels like Chaos Island, did not happen. It happened, didn't happen recently. It happened back during Sonic Generations. So, 2 Sonics, past and future. After his defeat at Planet Park, Dr. Eggman finds the Time Eater who can manipulate time and space. He uses his power to summon its past self and begins a plan to rewrite the timeline. Sonic is sucked into a Time Eater who suddenly appears and wakes up in the world of pure white. He meets a smaller version of himself there, and together they work together to restore the world and his friends, whose life force and color had been sucked out, and defeat the 2 Dr. Eggman and the Time Eater. All well, I assume, yeah, shadows going on here. So, a fleeting moment of darkness and light is resurrected. Taking advantage of the time-space anomaly caused by the Time Eater, Black Doom is resurrected. When he reunites with Shadow in the white space, he provokes him and encourages him to awaken his powers. Meanwhile, Maria and Gerald, who were supposed to have died long ago, are also resurrected. They spend a fleeting, precious time together in the stopped time-space. In the end, Black Doom attempts to absorb Shadow, who has become the strongest Black Arms warrior. But Shadow's heart has not been consumed by darkness, and he refuses. With Maria's wish still in his heart, he defeats Black Doom. And now we go, oh my god. After that, he goes into Free Riders? That's crazy. So now we go into Free Riders. Dr. Eggman disguises himself as King Doc of the Tar Egg Kingdom in order. I gotta be honest, I do not care at all about the story. I did, play it, and I do not remember anything about this, but whatever. In order to embed the biodata of Sonic and other ancient racers into Metal Sonic, just like he did in Sonic Heroes, so very interesting. He holds the World Grand Prix, a global competition for extreme gear, where the winner will receive a huge prize of money and treasure. The race begins where the thoughts of each participant team intersect, so very interesting. And now we go into Sonic Lost World.
Get all your cravings delivered to your door with Skip.
You'll never make it to the top. How much higher must you go on like this?
Okay, then.
The 6 demons betray Dr. Eggman. So they call them demons? The 6 demons? That's interesting, man. Japan always has the better dialogue. Dr. Eggman finds the Lost Hex, a mysterious land where the Oni clan live. He uses the conch shell, which is their weak point, to enslave the 6 demons and absorb their life energy from the earth. However, after losing the conch shell, the 6 demons betray Dr. Eggman, banish him, stealing the device, and sucked out the life energy, putting the earth in danger of collapse. Sonic and Dr. Eggman have no choice but to join forces and defeat the 6 demons that they have, and they defeat them. And now we go into, oh, wait, what? Oh, King Dodonpa holds a race. We go into Team Sonic Racing happens before Sonic Forces? What? Okay. It doesn't really matter, I guess. But I guess it's interesting because Zavik was in Team Sonic, whatever. Anyways. So Dr. Eggman steals the ultimate power engine developed by Dodonpa of the Dodonpa Kingdom and plots to use it for evil purposes. However, just as he is using the engine for evil purposes, he's defeated by Sonic and his friends, and his ambitions are thwarted. Okay, so there's barely even a story there. And now we have Sonic Forces. Sonic and his friend Team Avatar team up to free the world that was 99% conquered by Dr. Eggman. Dr. Eggman creates an infinite army with the power of the newly acquired Phantom Ruby, and with Infinite at his side, he takes control of 99% of the world. However, Dr. Eggman and his allies are defeated by the Resistance army formed by Sonic's friends and the Avatar who joined it. Modern and classic Sonic, and peace is restored to the world. And now we have Sonic Frontiers. A mysterious girl holds Knuckles captive in cyberspace. While investigating the ancient ruins he discovers on Angel Island, Knuckles is sent to Ares Island. Just as Knuckles thinks that Dr. Eggman is behind it, a mysterious girl appears and traps him in cyberspace. So they're not even talking about, they're talking about the prologue animation right here, which is interesting. So Dr. Eggman attempts to use the technology of the ancients of Starfall Islands and connect to the network, causing a series of incidents. Sage evolved by accessing the Ancients' technology and began to interfere with Sonic in order to protect Dr. Eggman, who is trapped in cyberspace. In the process, Sage notices the unknown potential of Sonic, whose answers could not be found through calculations, and suggested to Dr. Eggman that they fight the true enemy. Together they defeated the End and saved the world. And oh my god, 200 years later, oh my god, we're tying it back into Sonic 06. Very interesting. The world before the change. The world has been devastated by Iblis. Silver and Blaze are fighting an endless battle against Iblis, who keeps resurrecting. With the guidance of Mephiles and the mysterious figure who suddenly appeared, the two travel back in time to the era in which Sonic and his friends live to kill the person who is said to be the Iblis trigger and the cause of the devastation. And now we have an altered future. Due to Sonic and Elise changing history, the calamity of fire no longer exists, and the disaster itself has not occurred, leaving the world in a state of peace. And that is it. So that is so interesting. I can't believe how they were able to tie so many things into Sonic's world. I know a lot of this at one point was just like not canon, kind of throwaway stories, but the fact that they were able to really use this lore team and to really tie this all together into a narrative, while it's not a big deal and doesn't overall impact any future games or the games they make, it is nice that they're able to do that. And I think this is what makes Sonic so special. I talked about it last night on my stream, but what makes Sonic so special is they do things that they don't do, that other characters don't do. You don't really see too much of this stuff with like Mario or any other major IP where they make this a coherent story with a timeline. This is not something they had to do, but it is nice that they did do this, and it gives us longtime Sonic fans something to chew on and get intrigued into how certain things fit into this timeline. Now, they didn't cover every game. Like, I know they didn't cover Sonic 3D Blast, or they didn't cover like small games like that, and that's totally fine. They don't need to. But I think this is really nice that they were able to cover pretty much every mainline Sonic game, including a party game, to fit it into the timeline in some way. So that is very interesting. Very cool that they did this. Happy 20th anniversary Sonic channel. This is super cool. Thank you guys so much for doing this, for longtime Sonic fans, and thank you for taking so much time into making such a detailed timeline for us to chew on into the future. This is amazing stuff. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think regarding this timeline. Let me know what game was not mentioned, and where you guys think fits in the timeline. But with all that said, this was super fun, super cool thing we were able to go through together. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys very soon. Take care and have a good day. See you later, procrastinators.
All right. Yeah, that was a really cool video though of the lore. That was really cool. Yeah, I mean, the way that they tie down the story to each game is pretty damn cool. Let me see what's next up. Okay, I gotta read a lot of comments, so give me 1 second. Alright, let's read these comments. Where were we? The card said Sam Prosta. Prosta? What? Yo, is that Shadow? Yo, Keanu. 2,000 years ago, learning history right now. Griffith? This is more entertaining than a history class in school, bruh. The original text read closer to the Black Arms crashed the flying temple on Earth's glyphic. Oh. Griffith. Berserk is canon to Sonic, the Flames of Disaster. Hi, how are you? Welcome, Jess. How are you doing? I'm good. How are you? Zach says, A. Sonic Advance Forgotten. Nothing really happens in Sonic Advance 1, to be fair. It's like Sonic 1 again. Was there a story in Advance 1? I don't remember. I bet it's literally just Eggman kills or turns animals into robots and wants Chaos Emeralds and then kill him. Okay. Eggman negative. He said it, the Flames of Disaster. Dude, it's what I am saying. They are the 7 deadly sins. Hello, girl. Welcome, Andrea. Welcome. How are you doing? They time travel back to kill Wade Whipple. What? The true Iblis trigger. Hola, Andrea. Silver, I have found you. The Iblis trigger. Hola, Andrea. Sean. Wade, whoa. Is that supposed to be a compliment? Wade, but I'm a warrior like Knuckles before me. The Flames of Disaster. And that's how Silver dies. Hey, it's a cat ad, bro. And yeah, there we go. Hey, Andrea. All right. Those are all of the comments. Okay, the next video that we're going to go into is a Sonic Racing Cross Worlds 2025 trailer theme for, I don't even know how to say this word. Ares recreation, something like that. I don't know. Let's see this. Okay, that was a really good recreation. Yeah, that was a really good recreation. I like that. Okay, it was from the channel Iris or Eris. Alright, I got you. Okay. Yeah, that was a good recreation. Talking, you know what? Speaking of Sonic Racing Crossworlds, look what I have. Your boy Shadow's whip and your boy Sonic's whip, bruh. Yeah, I got two of them. Which one? Okay, I don't know if I can show it to you guys. I don't know. I'll bring it close to the camera, I guess. Look at this. Look at this whip, bro. Look at this. Look at these. Look at the features, bro. Look at the feature. Look at the back, bro. The engine in the back. That's Shadow's whip. That's Shadow's whip. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see it? I don't know. And also you have Shadow's face in the front saying ultimate power. That's what it says in the front. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. And then you have Sonic's whip, which says Sonic the Hedgehog, and then it just says S in the front. His car is alright, you know, it's nothing too crazy or whatever, but Shadow seems definitely better. Okay, I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying. But yeah, that's Sonic's whip here. Where is this? Nice, sick, epic. Saw it pretty well. Alright. Also, I somehow got I don't know if are these action figures? I don't know if these are action figures. I think they are, right? Are they? I don't know. They're just little figures. One is of Sonic, obviously, and then one is of Shadow. And then you have Shadow like this, just, you know, being a G, looking like, you know, looking good. He looking hella good. Looking hella good, bro. That's that. And then you have Sonic over here with his, I think I broke his hand a bit by accident, so sorry. I was trying to open the box and then somehow I broke his finger, so my bad, Sonic, bro, my bad. I didn't mean to do that. You know, he got them red Pumas on. And then he looking nice too. Yeah, so we got those little thingies. And I also got two cards. So for when I got that shadow figure, I got two cards. One is of, so it's two collector cards. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 collector cards. I got, one is obviously the person that I got, so there was Shadow the Hedgehog. I got that. It's actually that's a nice card. It shines as well, so it's pretty cool. I got Shadow the Hedgehog, and then for some reason I got a second one, which was Vector. For some reason, Vector the Crocodile. I don't know. He was also part of the collection, so yeah, I got your boy Vector too. He's looking nice. And yeah, that's just, I guess I just wanted to show you guys, bro. Just wanted to show you guys that. Anyways, you guys can go back over here and yeah. Okay, there we go. That's my collection. That's what the title is for, by the way. Why does it say Sonic and Shadow, Drip and Vector? That is why. That's what I wanted to show you guys. But yeah, that is the my drip, my Sonic franchise drip as of right now. Let's see here. Whoa, not an ad. Okay. Let's see the next video here. Next video is AI Sonic Memes Compilation Part 19. Let's check this out. Give me a second. Alright, where were we? Sonic Racing Crossworlds should have these cars in the game. Exactly, bro. Why did it add a question mark anyways? I'm not sure why. Dude, I used to collect Hot Wheels. I'm low-key jealous. Yo. That's my boy, Sean. That's my boy. Hot Wheels, yeah. Back in the day, bro. Oh, man. Yeah, collecting Hot Wheels was really, really fun. Bro's just showing off his toy collection. Bro, hey, yo. Holo foil card. Anything Tails related? Unfortunately, no Tails. Also, I didn't buy any of these, so yeah. I was given to it. It was given to me, but yeah, it's nice. It's really cool. It is really cool. So maybe one day I'll get something Tails related, KR, but I don't know. I got my boy Sonic and Shadow, and Vector. So that's an interesting lineup. All right, we're gonna get into this video over here now. AI Sonic memes compilation number 19. You stole them? Oh, never mind. No, I didn't steal them, bro. It was given to me. All right, let's check these out.
I once dated a girl with a twin.
Okay.
People asked me how I could tell them apart.
Okay.
Lisa painted her fingernails red,
Okay.
and Bob had a cock.
Hey, yo, Shadow, we need to have a chat, bro. Shadow, we need to have a chat, bro. What? 7 seconds in, bro. 7 seconds in. 7 seconds, bro. Oh my god. Starting out well, exactly, bro. Shadow, bro. What happened to you? What happened to my beloved? Why, bro? Why? Okay. Shadow betraying you, bro, man. We need to have a conversation, man. I've heard that one. Oh my god, why? Okay. Wow, what a way to start the video, bro. What a way to start the video. I forgot what I was gonna say now. Oh man, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh man, what was I gonna say? I can't remember. Whatever. Maybe I'll find out later.
Number 1 victory royale. Yeah, Fortnite, we about to get down.
Since when did Tails play Fortnite?
Ever since you became a brain-rotted fuck.
Speaking of Fortnite, I keep seeing her everywhere.
Seeing who? Oh god!
I'm about to get racist.
You're gonna get us all cancelled, I swear.
Now I'm racist!
Now you're just a gold dumbass.
Lock in, lil bro. I'm finna put you on some new shit.
Oh, hey, Knuckles, what's going?
Now I'm hyper racist, motherfucker.
Oh, give me a break. This just in. How can you tell if a joke is a dad joke? Tails?
Thank you, Knuckles. Well, recently, a team of researchers at Harvard have concluded that a joke can be considered a dad joke once it becomes apparent.
Fascinating stuff there, Tails. But I'm wondering, as I'm sure our listeners are, when does a joke become apparent?
That's a great question, Knuckles. Well, leading experts agree that usually a joke becomes apparent after the delivery.
Let's make him night.
Cuss word this. Cuss word that. How about you cuss word your way into getting some bitches?
You talking to me?
If you hate people, just simply write their name on papers and burn them.
I did.
Okay, great. So now...
Now what should I do with the papers?
Well, that got dark pretty fast.
You know what else is dark?
Hi.
No, not you.
Whenever, wherever, we're meant to be together.
You gotta admit, he's got some pretty good vocals.
No shit. How do you think all of this started? Anywho's, time for the cuss word. F***tropolis. Oh, by the way, we have a Discord server now. Feel free to join.
Nice. Oh, got to add
If you
right away
experience
too.
an act of racism in BC,
Okay. That's good. We got some support lines.
What do you call a woman who's really good at darts?
Amy!
Wait, how did you know?
No, look, it's Amy!
It's so over for this generation.
Hey, Tails! Did you know that one of 3 people is gay?
But Sonic, there's only 2 of us here.
Or so you think.
For fuck's sake, stop breaking the fourth wall. Only I'm allowed to do that. Can you be quiet for a second? Thanks. Hydro fucking shit. I put some real love into that one. If you take one leaf, no one notices. If you take 1 grain of sand, no one notices. If you take 1 flower, no one notices.
Okay.
But if you take 1 kid, it's now a national problem. What an unjust world we live in.
I'm gonna strike a chord and it's probably... It's about to start, Tails.
I don't think you'll survive this one, Sonic.
The cat dissed him so hard he flew away.
Should we call it Kitty Lamar?
I think we have more pressing issues.
Oh, right.
The cuss word of the day.
Fuckatron 9000.
Huh?
I don't need a crown to know that I'm a queen.
You're about to say some dumb shit again, aren't you?
If poison expires, does it become less or more poisonous?
Sonic, this is getting us nowhere.
No, because hear me out. I just took a pill that accelerates my brainwaves.
What?
You know what? Fair question. Okay, I don't know. Does poison have an expiry date? I need to know this. And if it is expired, what the heck happens? Does the poison not work anymore? Good question, Sonic. Good question.
So you're smart now?
No, I'm stupid, but faster.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
The cuss word is fuckaroni and cheese.
Hey, Shadow. I'm just checking in.
I should have never been created.
Let's play football. Wild card!
Oh
Tails!
What is it, Knuckles?
Tails, I farted and a poopy almost came out.
I did not need to know that, Knuckles.
I am eating the hamburger in potato. Everything.
She's been like this for days. What gives?
Sonic.
Makes sense.
I've assisted in nuclear warfare. Today's word is the fuckinator 6000.
Start every phone call with "my phone is about to die," so you can hang up whenever you want. What is it? I'm in the middle of something. You said Latinas? I'm on my way. I've some urgent business to take care of.
If a woman sleeps with 20 guys, she's considered a slut. But if a guy doesn't,
Gay. If he sleeps with 20 guys, he's definitely gay.
Don't you wish your booty was like
I know you've been waiting for my ass to show up. So here's the word of today. Dingleberry thunder Yeah.
Hey, everyone, look. It's Laga Daiga.
No, dumbass, it's Lady Gaga.
You hear that, Sonic? It's Lady Gaga. Damn, I really thought it was Laga Daiga.
No.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And so the word is fuckermelon.
Did anyone ever tell you that you look intimidating?
All the time. It's my bulging muscularity and just absolutely disgusting stature. I'm 6.1, by the way.
Yeah, right.
What's her problem?
Don't do it. Oh my god.
Man, fuck my life.
Time to party. Hanging on the knees to be popular. Cats and trains to be popular. Yell anyone to be popular.
I may be 50 years old with dementia, but I entirely forgot what the fuck I was about to say.
Oh wow, it's a perfect moon. I sure hope a werewolf doesn't come out.
I'm gay. Amy's pretty mad at me because I didn't buy her flowers.
Then why don't you buy her some?
I honestly didn't even know she sold flowers.
I got it this time, trust me.
I don't believe you for 1 second.
No one saves milk, you moron.
I give up on this shit.
Anywho's it's duty time. A cuss word you've been waiting for, a cuss word I provide. Tomfuckery.
I miss my wife, Sonic.
Eggman seems serious this time.
Oh, you little shit. Girl!
today I wanted to eat a croissant.
Croissant?
So I went to a place that sells croissant. And I bought a croissant.
Croissant?
And I returned home with the croissant.
Croissant?
And then I ate the croissant.
Croissant?
Well, that was weird. Anyways, I farted on my wallet earlier. Now I have gas money. Oh, so that's how it's gonna be, huh? I'm getting the fuck out of here then. No cuss word for you.
Did I just get deja vu? Knuckles, have you seen the cat?
She's over there with Sonic. I recommend you don't get vanity tales.
If someone calls you fat, ignore them. You're much bigger than that.
Whoa there, Shadow. Twitter is not gonna like this.
Oh, well, in that case, I apologize.
Well, that was quick.
I apologize. One of us has to be the bigger person.
Don't spend money on a dating app. What's wrong with you?
But over 100 people like me, dude. Like, I gotta know what they look like, right?
Please don't spend $20 on
Yeah, you're too late. I just bought it.
Well?
That was the most humbling $20 I've ever spent.
Welcome to your league, you fucking Quasimodo. Fucking troglodyte.
You. Hey, Tails. Have you heard about the Italian chef that died?
No. Why?
He passed away.
Very fucking funny, Sonic.
Mentally ill, getting on meds. Is it that bad? I guess so. Having dark thoughts, crying in bed. That's that need espresso.
W Riz.
Okay then.
Canada's.
Yeah, that was some very, very funny AI Sonic memes. Yeah, okay then. I got you right. Some of those were definitely interesting. Let's see. Starting off, I've heard that one. Shadow betraying you. Hatsune Miku as Sonic. Damn, I'm about to be responsible for people using that line. Hey KR, sorry I didn't see your comment. 10 out of 10 would watch again. Yeah, that was really fun. I scrolled through to see what I missed and see the GOAT, the biggest man, Case O. Welcome, Curb. Yes, you did miss Case O. That was the first thing we watched. Can you also react to Shadow Locks In by Ben Briggs? It's fine, Andre. Yeah, I can add that to the Q Sonic's channel. But that was a fun video that you suggested, so that was good. Let's see here. What is next stop? I think it was Iris, was it? Yeah, it was. Okay, we're gonna check out some quick Iris lore, and then we'll get into right back into some more Sonic stuff. Okay. Oh wait. Okay. Buckle up, peeps. Lore time. Yes, it is lore time. Let's check it out. Alright, Iris, story of Vagala, chapter 4, Kings and Queens.
Time was nothing to Vagala Infinity. Being strapped to the center of a galaxy brings with it an oscillated existence. Being responsible for time itself holds you to no time but the core. Timeless as it may be, Tyrant's abode felt like centuries. Woe, dismay, fatigued with guilt not his own to bear. The blockade of failure flooding inside, anxiety is the timekeeper, and it doesn't carry weight for anyone. A house made of glass, and unwilling to cast the first stone, Tyrant can only watch on as the outside world casts their own. Days, months, perhaps years would pass before gazing upon a common theme. He would pay a smidge more attention to those walking past his sarcophagus and notice a group of Velveta vanguards strolling by. Yet another of the many tribes that exist throughout the lands. A stark contrast between the desolation of Tyrant's plateau of a disarray and the ever so cheerful group. But falling behind was one Velvetan Vergalian that stood out above the others. It appears Tyrant may not be the only tragedy succumbed to mental confinement. It all seemed too good to be true, but it was too soon to act now. He would lay waiting, looking outside of his window, each day to see if the same pattern would repeat. And to his amazement, such fate would come to pass. This mysterious soul would fall further and further back as the others would giggle among themselves. It was at this point in time that Tyrant knew for once in his miserable life, he wasn't alone. No more beholden to the cavalcade of self-destruction that bound him. It was time to learn more about this miracle. However, it had dawned upon him gifts weren't often given, only earned. Could it be that the deities gave him pity and mercy? It all seemed too good to be true, but if one could rise from gutter to glory, perhaps being a king did not matter anymore. The dream to become a god no longer resided in the deity's own choosing. Destiny was not bound by their choosing anymore. This time, Tyrant was about to become his own king, on the hunt for his own queen.
All right. I see. I got you. All right, that gives us the insight to that song. We have one more that we're gonna check out. I think it was chapter 5. Let's see here. Yes, it is chapter 5. Okay. It's chapter 5. Why do we hold? I remember this song, bro. I like this song. Why do we hold? All right. Let's check out chapter 5 now. And yeah, let's see this.
Locked and loaded, body on the verge of complete revolution, Tyrant became thirsty for an exit from his colony of Crimson. Such a task would not be easy. It would take cunning and stealth to break the barrier beyond his own. He had concocted a mineral called Ripple Tide. It would take precise and extreme medical practice. Yet time inside his self-made hospice gave Tyrant enough time to learn from his discography of Vigil orbs. This particular capsule reverse engineers a Vigalian's sarcophagi, which alters one's outer shell to the colors surrounding them. Particularly, this camouflages them, becoming invisible to the naked eye. This was essential for Tyrant to make a swift and painless escape from the colony. Slowly working his way towards the exit, not a single soul beholding his presence. However, to Tyrant's surprise, one more crept step through the gates. They locked down behind him. A siren is triggered, and Vegala is now aware of an escapee. Anxiety and caution fills Tyrant's lungs, which triggers something within his genetic code. Flipping in and out of visibility, his anxiety attacks are causing each atom in his body to destabilize. They've got him cornered, and in a last-ditch attempt, threw arsenals of crimson weaponry towards the citizens of Vegala, in the form of smoke grenades that slow civilians' motor systems down, locking them into slow motion. On a high-octane chase with seemingly no end in sight, Tyrant is able to evade line of sight, hiding behind a strange form of shrubbery called a Brintulia. They are healing plants. Any inhalation of the fumes will send you through floods of relaxation. It also removes harsh and unnatural chemicals from the body. This returns Tyrant to normal, but after wafting enough of the sweet nectar caused him to grow more unconscious, until he fades to black. The things a man will do for the things he craves most, he would put his life on the line, so he can live to see her one last time.
Okay. Damn, bro. I like these lore stories, man. It's just so fun. So fun watching these. I think we have one more thing Iris related, if I'm not mistaken. No, actually it wasn't. I think it was a Shadow song, actually. Yeah, it is a Shadow song. Is it from DA Games, though, or... No, it's not. It's from somebody else. Okay. Let's see this. Give me 1 second. Okay, give. Alright. Actually, I have one recommendation. Sonic movie by Golden. Sounds good, Curb. I'll add that. How you doing, Curb? I'm doing pretty good, man. That's good to hear. Awesome. He remixed Why Do We Hold for the video, which is cool. I see. Guy moment. What? 2 more lore videos on this stream. Yes, sir. Alright, let's see this. This video contains scenes of flickering imagery. Viewer discretion is advised. Alright, so if you have, once again, any sort of problems with the flickering imageries, please do not watch this video. The song is, or the video is Shadow of Myself, Shadow the Hedgehog song featuring longest solo ever. Okay, let's see this. Oh, damn.
I will find myself in these memories. Bring control into the chaos, storming deep through all the pain. Find the light I'm lost. Step the edge of pain. The light fades, but I remain. Will I always be a shadow of myself?
Yeah, they gotta pick up the pieces, repeat and repeat till the sequence ceases. Trying to write a thesis, defining me in defiance of all the anxiety is like cryosleep. All those years locked away while the whole world got to play. Self-left to rot decay. Now I'm not the same, but it's not too late, cause I've got today. We'll watch today. All the flashbacks are crack and the memories isolate. As I grasp at the fragments of destiny, lost the shade. My whole past on display, left down straight, and I forgot where I lost the way. So allow me to postulate on the nature of what it takes to find heart to say that I'm not fake. They say I'm fearless, they say I'm strong, they say I'm peerless, and they're not wrong. But I was engineered for a job that's gone, so I'll spend the years just grinding on. Tell me, does it make you free or worthless if you can't complete your purpose? Am I the character between curse and cure, or just surplus neath the surface?
I will find myself in these memories. Bring control into the chaos, storming deep through all the pain. Find the light I'm lost. Step the edge of pain. The light fades, but I remain. Will I always be a shadow of myself?
What's a hedgehog supposed to do when resolution's overdue? It's been 20 years since I first appeared, and I still don't know the truth. Ain't nobody lived a life so gritty as I blaze through midlife crisis city on a motorcycle with a loaded rifle and the hope that vital, quite the nihilist in me. Cast from a demon and the dreams of man, and that dream cast me like a sleep abandoned. Had my light dash till I see the pattern of an arc so dark it eclipsed canon. How many chapters and pages left as I cling to the last to escape the next? As I sift through the past at a razor's edge, as I pick which path on the stage select. Gotta find a way, no I'm not programmed. No I got no cage, but I got no plan. On a final chase, trying to find a place, but I'm out of taste when the clock goes ends. What's the point of running at light speed if I'm running from the choice of who I might be? Of the life I lead, looking behind me, because it was so much easier in the 90s. It was just a simpler time, you know?
I will find myself in these memories. Bring control into the chaos, storming deep through all the pain. Find the light I'm lost. Step the edge of pain. The light fades, but I remain. Will I always be a shadow of myself?
Can't you see me at the window with my hand against the glass? Time is leaving me in limbo, forced to languish in the past. Now a future lies before me as I break from this machine. Live and learn to write my story until I am all man.
I will find myself in these memories. Bring control into the chaos, storming deep through all the pain. Find the light I'm lost. Step the edge of pain. The light fades, but I remain. Will I always be a shadow of myself?
The age I was playing Sonic Adventure 2 was probably the last point in my life I remember actually understanding everything, who I am, where I'm going. The biggest problem in my life was trying to beat Canon's core, and now I have a mortgage. Adulting is hard.
Okay.
The all-over overkill is back with almost every
Alright,
unique...
now we just have an ad. Alright, wow. Oh man, okay. That was a cool song. That was a really cool song. I like that. I like that. That was a really, really cool song. Both of them did amazing on that. Wow, okay. Yeah. It was a good song. Good little song we did. Obviously, Live and Learn mentioned. I am all of me mentioned. You love to see that. You love to see it. Alright, let's see this one now. Actually, let me add Curb's suggestion before I forget. Curb. There we go. Alright, let me put my screen up. Okay, where were we? I like some of the new songs, bro. These videos are all so high budget every time. You mean high budget? High budget videos, right? Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty nice. Next up, we have Sonic X Shadow Generations, unused content, early stages, and more. Oh, wow. Okay, let's see this.
Sonic X Shadow Generations has already been out for nearly half a year. Oh man, that's a thought. Instead of thinking about how fast time is moving, I thought it would be nice to look through some unused content that was found deep in the game's files. Yep, a handful of stuff has already been found, and while the unused content uncovered is not nearly on the scale of unused content found in games like Sonic Frontiers, at least not yet, there's still some pretty interesting stuff in here, including some unused levels. So let's get into it. First up, we have some unused audio, and not much has been found as of now besides some lines Shadow was originally going to say at the end of certain boss fights. Here's the first one.
I am the true ultimate life form.
I think this was supposed to be said at the end of the Biolizard fight because if you didn't know, the Biolizard canonically was the original ultimate life form, or at least it was supposed to be, before Shadow was created. So Shadow calling himself the true ultimate life form is supposed to be some kind of jab at the Biolizard, I think. Here's the second one.
If that's all you've got, you're no match for Sonic, much less me.
This was 100% supposed to happen after the Metal Overlord fight, because throughout the fight, Metal Overlord mentions how no one can defeat him, not even Sonic. So this is just Shadow replying to that, it seems. Here's the last one.
The ultimate power has already been perfected.
By process of elimination, I guess the only possibility is that this was supposed to be at the end of the Devil Doom fight, since he already had a closer for Mephiles that made it into the final game. I can see why this one went unused though, because he has much cooler dialogue at the end of the Devil Doom fight in the final release. Alright, so the next stuff is kind of boring, I'll admit, but it's still kinda interesting, so let's talk about some unused text. Yay! A couple of blocks of text were seemingly shown in early playtests for the game. One details the abilities of the Doom Surf and says Shadow can now move freely on the water. Some areas are inaccessible because they are under development, implying that in early playtests, a lot of the areas simply didn't exist in the white space yet. There's another line that I'm assuming popped up after you beat Space Colony Arc Act 1. It says the act is still in development. In Act 2, Shadow will get a glimpse of a mysterious new power. Complete this stage to move on to the next. Yet again informing the player that, hey, shit's not finished yet. Check back later. Then we have some unused lines from the Metal Overlord fight that were probably never recorded. One says, "You're no match for me, I've become the true Sonic, the ultimate life form," and the other says, "At my speed, Rumble might fly your way, try not to get hit." I'm not really sure why these were removed. I mean, they don't seem out of place to me, but I suppose it doesn't change anything either. But apart from some unused tutorial text and some simple demo leftovers, the only other somewhat notable find is that there's an unused rich presence value, which if you didn't know, Steam has this cool feature where it shows what you're doing in the game to everyone on your friends list. There's a value that reads Exploring Kronos Island. This was likely used as a placeholder to test the rich presence feature. So no, it's not hinting at the fact that Kronos Island is an unused zone or anything. It's most definitely just a leftover from Frontiers. Speaking of leftovers from Frontiers, Shadow Generations has a lot of them. It makes perfect sense, as Shadow Generations was built in the same engine and framework that Sonic Frontiers was built in. So naturally, many of Sonic's abilities from Frontiers can be used with Shadow. The drop dash, lightspeed dash, spin dash, stomp bounce, and wall climbing are all still present in the game's code, and are usable to a certain extent. There are some weird inconsistencies though. The drop dash is much slower than how it is in Frontiers, meaning you have to double the speed to make it work correctly. The lightspeed dash is there, but a way to restore it hasn't been found yet. The spin dash is not the unlockable one that was introduced in Sonic Frontiers Update 2, but rather it's the one that has you roll around at a very slow pace. The stomp bounce is pretty much entirely intact and functional, but it is missing sound effects. And finally, the wall climbing works pretty well, apart from some weird physics issues. That's all of the somewhat functional moves, but there are still leftover parameters for the drift, cloud jump, parry, and dodge. To be honest, I'm glad none of these abilities made it into the final game. Shadow Generations is a drastically different game than Sonic Frontiers, especially when it comes to the core game design, so most of these moves just weren't necessary to include in Shadow's moveset. We also have some unused objects from Frontiers. We have the climbable walls, the pulleys, and some hidden objects that have to do with disabling the drift in cyberspace, and a gold trigger that ends the stage when touched. All of these objects are left over from Frontiers. The skyboxes and atmosphere conditions from Frontiers also go unused in Shadow Generations, and they're still usable in the open world area. And while we're on the topic of unused objects, we also have some that are exclusive to Shadow Generations. We have an unused spring that is fully usable, but it doesn't make any noise. We have an object that is used to test out the Doom surf spinning abilities, and a couple of model preview objects, including one for bosses and one for characters. If I had to guess, these objects were possibly used for either development use or maybe an unused feature in the collection room. Okay, so now let's talk about unused stages, which is by far the most interesting piece of unused content in Shadow Generations, if you ask me. Now, I'm just going to put a disclaimer right here so you don't get your hopes up. As of now, there have been no completely unused zones or anything that may hint at unused zones in the files of the game, at least not yet. It is possible that those things could be found later, but right now we only have earlier versions of existing levels along with some development stages. Starting with the development stages, there are a lot of them, but sadly none of them are accessible in the current build of the game. From my understanding, there is no actual stage data for these levels present in the game, but there are listings for the levels in the game's master.levels file, which lists all of the stages in the game. But again, as of now, these stages are not accessible in the current public release. Maybe one day we'll find a way to play these stages, because I'm pretty intrigued to see what was going on in these levels. Okay, now for the grand finale. We have a completely early beta variant of Space Colony Arc Act 1. The stage in the final game was really good, and I think it's one of the best opening stages in Sonic history, and part of that was because of the level design. So it's really interesting to learn that the stage's level design was once much different in some parts of the level. First, the rails at the beginning are different, with fewer opportunities to jump. It also seems that it was supposed to start much closer to the arc itself, when in the final game, it has a cool little cutscene to start the stage instead. As we move further down the path, we can see some slight terrain differences, and some missing platforms, but nothing too crazy. The rest of the normal Space Colony Arc area is pretty much the same, minus all of the missing objects and enemies, of course. But then we move on to the Doom Zone, the Radical Highway area of the level. By far, the coolest part of this part of the level, for me at least, was the part that had you sliding down that massive warped building. So it's really cool to see that in this early version of Space Colony Arc, that section was supposed to be much longer. It was cut down probably to make the whole level flow better and for the Doom section to not last for too long, and the cut section was reused for Radical Highway Act 1, so that's nice too. But that's the unused Space Colony Arc Act 1 variant. Well, actually, it didn't go completely unused in the final game. Remember that one cutscene with Sonic and Shadow fighting over the Chaos Emerald? Yep, that takes place in this unused Space Colony Arc variant. I just thought that was pretty cool. But yeah guys, that's pretty much all of the noteworthy unused content from Shadow Generation so far. As more content is uncovered, I will probably make more videos discussing that stuff as well. But before we end this video, I wanted to give a massive thanks to InvalidFile, who is the one mainly responsible for finding all of this stuff. I'll link their social pages in the description below, so go check out their stuff if you're interested in seeing some Shadow Generations modding stuff, among other things. I'm also going to link the cutting room floor page for Shadow Generations, so you can keep an eye out for any new unused content that may be uncovered. But that's all for me. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all later. Goodbye.
Alright. Gotcha, bruh. Okay, that's cool. Some cool little finds. That's cool. Let's see what's next. Next is... oh, it was a short. Okay, I got you. Oh god, SGA. Oh god, okay. Let's see this. Where were we? Sure, that is true. Yes, Rouge T posing, bruh. All right, let's see this short. Rat dance, but it's Sonic. Okay.
Hey Squidward, shut the fuck up.
You know what? For an SGA short, that is relatively normal. for an SGA short, bro, that is relatively normal as it can get. So I'm not going to complain. I don't know what this rat dance is though. I don't know. It's just like is this a new meme thingy? I don't know. I don't know what the rat dance is, but that's cool. That is cool. Okay, next up is this thingy. The entire Sonic series explained in 17 minutes. Okay. Interesting. Let's see this.
On a faraway, distant planet, a race called the Ancients. No, not those ancients, or those ancients. These like semi-translucent lanky blue dudes had their planet destroyed by an entity called the End, which is a fitting name. These aliens escaped their ruined planet carrying 7 gemstones, which held unlimited power, called the Chaos Emeralds. Whether it's powering giant machinery, letting the user warp through space and stop time, and they can even give a hedgehog jaundice. And the one object that can amplify the Chaos Emeralds' powers and turn them into Super Emeralds, or nullify them completely, is the Chad Master Emerald on planet Earth, which, like a magnet, caused the Ancients to pull a Pikmin reference and crash their spaceship on Earth, specifically on Starfall Island, where they used the unlimited source of energy to build unnecessarily cool-looking battle robots called Titans, which they used against the End, which ultimately resulted in their end, as the Ancients became history. Yeah, that wasn't good. However, they managed to seal the End inside of a Titan, and then seal the Titan inside of a cyberspace dimension that they created. The few surviving Ancients brought the Chaos Emeralds to the Altar of the Emerald on Angel Island, which floats in midair off of pure Chad Master Emerald power. And being near the Master Emerald eventually caused the Ancients to turn into adorable creatures called chows. Yeah, that's right. Eat your fruit, you ancient alien creature. Well, we're 2 minutes into the video and we haven't talked about a humanoid animal thing. So let me introduce you to the Knuckles clan of Echidna, who wish to use the colorful gems for their own personal gain. But the chief's daughter, Tikal, was like, "No, you're going to make the chows sad." And so they pushed her aside and kicked some chows, angering this mutated 6-foot-tall mega chow named Chaos, who harnessed the Emerald's powers, becoming perfect chaos, and nearly ended their entire race. So Tikal sacrificed herself, sealing the two of them inside the Master Emerald, and the Echidnas got humbled and decided to guard the Master Emerald instead. Gerald Robotnik was a genius scientist who built a whole space colony, which I'm sure looks great on his resume. And so he was chosen by the government to run a medical project with the goal of creating an immortal being, which interested Gerald because his granddaughter was not immortal and was in fact dying of a disease. So rationally, Gerald made an agreement with an evil alien called Black Doom, where Gerald would get some of his alien DNA to inject into his test subject in exchange for a promise that his creation will bring Doom the 7 Chaos Emeralds in 50 years, so that Doom can use the power of chaos control to warp a giant alien stronghold comet to the planet and enslave all of the Earthlings. Gerald just took a chance that his creation infused with evil alien blood just wouldn't help destroy the Earth. And so Gerald sorta succeeded, creating a prototype ultimate life form called the Bio Lizard, but it wasn't cute enough to hang out with his granddaughter, so he tried again and created the much cuter hedgehog, Shadow, who became best friends with his granddaughter, Maria. But eventually the government learned that he had linked up with an evil alien who wishes to destroy the world, so they canned the operation and eliminated everyone on board the space ark, including Maria, who was like, "Save the world, Shadow! My final message! Goodbye." Gerald, who was imprisoned and forced to continue his scientific research, was rightfully ticked off. So he modified Shadow's memories so that his granddaughter was like, "Kill them all, Shadow! Kill them all!" And also set up the space colony Ark to plummet down to Earth if all 7 Chaos Emeralds were placed inside of it. Meanwhile, there's this blue hedgehog called Sonic. Have you ever heard of him? He runs fast and, well, that's really all we know about him. I mean, his birthplace doesn't even have a picture on the Sonic wiki. And then there's Gerald's grandson, Ivo Robotnik, who, similar to his grandfather, possesses high intellect, but instead of saving sick little girls, his main motivation is to rule the world and build an evil empire. Well, Eggman starts stuffing animals into robots, and Sonic keeps unstuffing them, so eventually he starts using flowers instead. however that works. But Sonic still wants to stop him, because he's still chaining planets to the Earth, and also kidnapping other hedgehogs with shiny metal versions of himself. So Sonic saves this significantly pinker hedgehog, Amy Rose, and she falls in love with him and starts chasing him around everywhere. Then he saves a two-tailed fox creatively named Tails from some bullies, and he falls in love with him and starts chasing him around everywhere. Tails also helps Sonic on his adventures by being a great mechanic and building him planes to fly around with. And Sonic is like, "Oh, that's cool, buddy, but check out what I can do with the 7 Chaos Emeralds. I can fly beside your plane, if you really want me to."
Nice.
Pedigree. Cleaner gets you closer.
Robotnik then tricks the last Echidna, Knuckles, into smacking the emeralds out of Sonic, and becoming the Doctor's new lackey, until he realizes that he's being duped, and instead joins the good side, helping Sonic and Tails take down Robotnik's copyright-infringing space station, the Death Egg. Sonic adds another dimension to his character, and Eggman comes across some ancient Echidna ruins, learning about a powerfully wet being that was sealed inside the Master Emerald. So he cracks it open, thinking he can use chaos to destroy a city and build his new empire on the vacant lot. And then spends the next couple days hiding 10 feet away from Sonic and friends, and stealing their Chaos Emeralds after they drop from their invisible to the human eye pockets. And finally, Chaos, with all 7 Chaos Emeralds, successfully destroys a city, and then gets destroyed by Super Sonic, who successfully saves the city, or at least the ruins of it. Chaos and Tikal's spirit see that the Chows have survived thousands of years into the future, and they peacefully pass on to the afterlife. And Knuckles puts the Master Emerald back together for like a couple days. Eggman reads some of his father's old research and is like, "Oh, you mean there's another uncontrollable monster that I can unleash onto the world? Sign me up!" So he breaks Shadow out of his confinement and is like, "Oh, hey, Sonic. Bring the Chaos Emeralds to the space colony Ark." Yeah, sure, Sonic. Eggman then spots Knuckles beefing with a gem thief named Rouge and is like, "Well, it has the same shape as a Chaos Emerald. Yoink." And so Knuckles is forced to shatter the Master Emerald into a million pieces. Meanwhile, Shadow steals a Chaos Emerald from a bank, and literally everyone is like, "Hey, it's Sonic!" Back on the space colony Ark, Eggman uses 6 of the 7 emeralds that the baddies have collected to power the Ark's cannon. And as a show of force to the world, he blows up half of the moon, which is like the most successfully evil thing Eggman has ever done. I don't think Sonic can fix this one. Sonic attempts to trick Eggman with a fake 7th emerald that Tails created, which would shut down the Ark's cannon. Eggman's 200 IQ adult brain tricks the bipedal forest animal into revealing that it's a fake emerald. And Eggman yeets Sonic and his fake emeralds out into space, where he manages to pull some power out of the fake emerald and warp himself back onto the Ark before he explodes. Robotnik places the last Chaos Emerald into the Ark, but instead of activating the cannon, it does the opposite and plummets the whole thing down to Earth. And his grandpappy's face pops up on a TV and is like, "This is my revenge against humanity for taking the only, and I mean only, family member that I ever truly loved away from me." And Amy is like, "We gotta save the world!" Oh yeah, that's what Maria said. So Shadow teams up with Sonic to send the Ark away from the planet, while Crush 40 plays in the background. And Sonic is like, "Oh yeah, that was awesome, buddy." Wait, why are you plummeting down to the planet like you're dying? What happened? Metal Sonic then disguises himself as Eggman and intentionally gets his can kicked so that he can collect data on Sonic and his friends and use that data to transform into a giant metal dragon. But he's only the second coolest character that you thought was dead but is actually brought back in this game because Shadow is alive. Woo! And he thinks he might be a mass-produced android, because he was totally not supposed to be alive after the events of Sonic Adventure 2. But Sega was like, you're not allowed to die. You're too profitable. So you're gonna be in this game where you shoot guns. It's gonna appeal to a teenage audience and make us a lot of money. And it did not. But it did conclude Shadow's character arc as he defeats his evil alien dad and destroys the prophesized evil alien comet by teleporting it back into space and blowing it up with the arc's cannon. On a completely different note, Sonic saves a rabbit named Cream and her Chow and her mom in an otherwise uneventful GBA game. But I'm mentioning it because they join the reoccurring cast of characters that will be hanging out with Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games in Rio. Sonic 06 is a game about time travel, where Sonic makes a grown woman fall in love with him, and then dies, and that human character has an evil demon monster sealed inside them that emerges whenever they cry. So a cat and a hedgehog from the doomed future that Sonic created travel to the past to try to kill Sonic before he originally dies, so that he doesn't make the woman cry and bring the world to ruin. But by the end of the game, it's like a complete time loop, and everything that did happen didn't happen. So we don't have to think about it, and not for the reasons people already don't want to think about it. In the Sonic Rush games, Eggman steals some rectangular soul emeralds from the princess of another dimension. So Blaze the cat is sent to Sonic's universe by the emeralds, where she must battle Eggman alongside his soul dimension counterpart, Eggman Nega. I'm not taking any chances of getting demonetized. And later in the Sonic Rivals games, when Eggman with a white mustache is turning people into literal playing cards and has a grand scheme of turning the whole world into a playing card in possibly the most absurd video game plot of all time, which is saying a lot. He states that he's actually from the future. And Silver the Hedgehog comes from the future and is like, yes, he's from the future and I'm here to stop him. But the dude originally said that he was from Blaze's dimension, and then in Sonic 06, Blaze is actually from the future, like the doomed future that Sonic created. This greatly confused my pea-sized brain, so I turned to Google to see if I'm just stupid, and learned that Sonic fans were also confused. So I guess it's just confusing. In Sonic Unleashed, we learn that there's a monster called Gaia stuck inside the planet, like a Kinder Egg. And every million years, it cracks the world open, and a fairy named Chip has to put it back together. Eggman then builds an amusement park, which is actually a cover-up for a giant mind control ray that he plans to fire onto the Earth, which is powered by these cute alien creatures named Wisps. Also, this is the turning point in the franchise where the dialogue starts to read like a Saturday morning cartoon, which works when it's in a Saturday morning cartoon, but for a video game, it's hard to take the plot seriously when the characters aren't taking the plot seriously. Meanwhile, Sonic Team was like, let's make a game where you can play through City Escape and Green Hill Zone, but with modern graphics and good controls. I mean, it's nostalgic. It has to sell. And it did, as they somehow created the most critically acclaimed Sonic game of all time, where the Time Eater interrupts Sonic's birthday party that he's having with all of his friends and also the guys from Team Chaotix, sucking them all into a time rift where the Sonics and Tailsai from both the past and the present must complete the hypest levels from all of the past Sonic games, or at least the ones that matter, to free their friends from their eternal stasis. Sonic Team was then like, F it, let's just make Super Mario Galaxy, but with a cool hedgehog instead of a fat plumber. And it did not work. In this game, Robotnik is sucking the life stream out of a planet until these comically designed demons overthrow him with their robot mind-controlling powers. And then they use his machine to try and suck the earth dry, until Sonic goes through a bunch of levels and then stops them. You know the deal. Also, the Wisps are in this game, even though in the last episode they were freed from Eggman and presumably went back to their planet to live in peace or whatever. I mean, it just violates the laws of video games. Like, that was last game's gimmick, just like, stay in your lane, okay? Now it's been
Pop-Tart. Crazy!
Nice.
Bell 5G Plus? What does the plus mean?
Been 30 years of Sonic games, and just about every single one centers around Eggman wants the Chaos Emeralds. Where are the Chaos Emeralds? We gotta collect the Chaos Emeralds! So Sonic Team shook things up a bit by introducing a new MacGuffin for games to be centered around. The Phantom Ruby. Yeah, another gemstone. As a dimensional breach sent it to Sonic during the classic era, and classic Eggman is like, oh sick, new gemstone just dropped. Unfortunately, the gemstone-addicted hedgehog takes it away from this poor old man, and the Ruby warps classic Sonic to the future to help modern Sonic, because he's stuck in the game Sonic Forces, and one of Eggman's rare non-metal goons got his furry butt kicked by Shadow. So the Jackal used a copy Eggman created of the Phantom Ruby for infinite power, and helped Eggman finally defeat his arch-nemesis and take over the world, and it only took 27 years. But through the combined efforts of classic Sonic, modern Sonic, and my Fursona, the Angst Assassin is defeated. And classic Sonic and his Phantom Ruby go back to the past. Those colorful crystals then mysteriously gather on Starfall Island, so our colorful protagonists fly there to investigate when they get sucked into a wormhole and imprisoned in the Ancients' old cyberspace dimension, where Eggman's unnecessarily adorably designed AI, Sage, learned from the Ancients who created the cyberspace, and came to the conclusion that our small-brained blue hedgehog would eventually destroy the Titan containing the End. And that would not be good. So Sage controlled the Titans and had them fight Sonic to try and stop him from releasing a world-ending threat, resulting in the coolest 20 minutes of Sonic gameplay ever witnessed. But the Blue Fiend eventually succeeds in his dastardly plans, and Sage is like, "You spiky meatball, you just released the biggest threat to the universe that we've ever seen." And Sonic is like, "Dang, that sucks. Why don't you just throw me at it, like really hard, like a baseball?" And they do just that, as the end meets the end. And Dr. Eggman is like, "I'm so very proud of you, my daughter. See guys, I have a heart now. Will you forgive me for stuffing animals into machines and blowing up the moon and trying to enslave alien races?" And that's the entire Sonic series. Kinda. I mean, there's like 50 games, but you get the gist of it. If you have a game or a
like more than 50
series you'd like to see me cover next, then leave it in the comments and I'll try to get to it when I can. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time.
Okay, awesome. That was the Sonic franchise or Sonic series explained in 17 minutes. That was nice. That was cool. Cool little video. Definitely another lore video that we just got. So let's check out what's next. Next up was, it's not what I wanted. And next up is okay. Alright, I got you. Okay, bruh. Bro, how many videos are there? Okay, I don't know if we're gonna be able to get through all these videos, but let me see. Okay. Damn. Wow. Okay then. Okay. Where were we? Wrong, it didn't make a lot of money. Shadow's game was just too epic for critics. Exactly, bro. Not a bad video to show the noobs, bro. Okay. Next up was making sense of Sonic's white space. Okay.
Bare-bones story. At first glance, Sonic Generations is a very fun game with a very bare-bones story. At first glance, it's sold to us as a compilation of levels from Sonic's past, recreated to match the, at the time, contemporary boost formula, as well as reimagine more modern levels in the classic side-scrolling gameplay style the franchise began with. In particular, it borrows locations and bosses based off what is considered to be the mainline continuity, while still referencing certain spin-off titles, effectively confirming their canonicity. And while at face value, I'm fully aware that the levels in the games were most likely chosen to best represent each game's most popular level, while maintaining a sense of visual variety, upon my most recent 100% playthrough of Sonic X Shadow Generations, I noticed some details that hint at a more specific explanation for why the game's main hub world, known as White Space, contains the locations and bosses that it does. The remaster of Sonic Generations features dialogue by longtime comic writer Ian Flynn, reworked from the original script written by Ken Pontac and Warren Graff. In the original, Eggman claims that the Time Eater had the power to erase time and space, something that you probably wouldn't give a second thought to. It simply means that the Sonics, modern in particular, are re-experiencing their past adventures. But the rewrite has a very interesting revision to what the Time Eater's powers are and how they relate to Eggman's ultimate goal in the story. The Time Eater no longer erases time, but instead travels through it, and there isn't really any mention of traveling through space, meaning that the locations are purely determined by when they were visited on a linear timeline, likely explaining why they're set up the way they are in the game. More importantly, Eggman now says that with these powers and his control over the Time Eater, he could rewrite history, whereas in the original script, his plan is to erase the timeline and undo his previous defeats. While on a surface level the two plans seem to be functionally the same, the distinction lies in that, due to the original script's wording, we can now understand that back then, everything Sonic's ever experienced becomes undone, meaning all the levels we visit are the Sonics essentially visiting these locations for the very first time, as they would have originally happened. That means that Stardust Speedway canonically has a bad future, it means that the gun truck always had the razor blades, it means that Sonic traveled through Seaside Hill alone, Super Sonic never defeated Perfect Chaos, Crisis City comes out of nowhere, and the Werehog essentially never happened. But reworking what the Time Eater does effectively changes all of this. Now, we can understand that all of those events happened as they did originally, but Dr. Eggman is going through key moments in his and Sonic's history in order to ensure his victory in each respective story. What got me thinking about this in particular was new dialogue the Tales say, paired with something Professor Gerald tells Shadow in his adventure. In the original script, they specifically state that the Time Eater tears space apart when it travels through time, explaining why the levels and their respective characters are stuck in limbo, and that the Sonics accelerating through time is what is restoring space-time. The remaster states something very similar, but makes note of the fact that Sonic is the one constant in all these locations. In Shadow Generations, talking to Gerald prompts him to offer a lot of theories as to what will happen by interacting with White Space, but there's only one time that he seems to be confident in what he's observed. He tells Shadow that the time stream can heal itself, and I quote, so long as the pivotal moments in history are restored. It's not just traveling and playing through these iconic locations, it's ensuring that key moments in the series are experienced. So long as that happens, everything else, all the spin-offs and side stories, fall back into place. That got me wondering, does that hold up for each level, boss, and rival battle? What exactly might be the pivotal moment from each game's history that needs to occur? But then I also realized, since Eggman's in control of the Time Eater, it will most likely be moments that are pivotal to Eggman's defeat too.
Day one, I said hello to the ghoul with
Green Hill is the very first time, as we currently understand it, that Sonic and Dr. Robotnik face off against each other. Act 1 is a bit less significant, if only because classic Sonic's Act of Green Hill happens before the Time Eater strikes, but being that it's the very first level in the series, it's no wonder that this level needs to happen for the timeline to be restored. As for Eggman, it could be that this place was chosen as a way to eliminate Sonic before he ever gets a chance to interfere with his plans in the first place. Chemical Plant is probably the trickiest of the zones to make sense of. While iconic, nothing here seems of vital importance to Sonic's story. That being said, it is a location that entirely belongs to Eggman and could be seen as instrumental to the furthering of his plots. As well, Chemical Plant is known to be one of the earliest zones developed for the original Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and in early concepts it would have been set in a Sonic CD-styled ruined future ruled by Eggman, alongside the scrapped Genocide City Zone and Casino Night Zone, which, ironically enough, is another level you can visit in this game, though isn't tied to the story at all. This being the case, alongside rescuing Amy here, it would seem that Chemical Plant's inclusion is heavily tied to its original concept, rather than what it represents in the final game. But considering that we know that this is a location that still exists in Sonic's world today, it could very well be that Eggman continued to use the Chemical Plant to produce his schemes in the future, and is a base that can't easily be taken down the way the rest of his bases are. This would definitely make it a relevant location to Eggman. Without his Chemical Plant, the rest of his plants can't take off. Sky Sanctuary has a really interesting distinction among the rest of the levels in that, where most of them take place early on in their original games, or somewhere halfway through, this one is the penultimate level in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. The final one, in fact, if you're playing as Knuckles, who unsurprisingly is who you save here. I've always been puzzled as to why this level was chosen as the one to represent this game. I've always felt like there are other, way more interesting and iconic levels, especially for so early on in Generations, but it all clicked when I stopped to think about what it is that happens here in the original game it comes from. Just before it, the jig is up and Eggman reveals to Knuckles that he was the antagonist the whole time. And in his very first act of camaraderie, Knuckles brings Sonic and Tails to Sky Sanctuary to give chase to the Doctor who has stolen the Master Emerald. It's especially significant because Eggman is escaping to the Death Egg, which is where you fight the Death Egg robot, the final boss in Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and the first boss in Generations. Before discussing it though, I want to partially talk about the Metal Sonic rival fight. I say partially because there's another more important element to this fight I'll talk about more in depth later, but for now, I think it's significant that you can only access the Metal Sonic fight after clearing Sky Sanctuary because it perfectly reflects the events of Sonic CD, Sonic 2, and Sonic 3 and Knuckles in that each of them feature a robotic Sonic doppelganger that you fight just before the final boss. Stardust Speedway, which is where the rival fight takes place, also happens to be the penultimate level in Sonic CD, just like Sky Sanctuary, which makes the link even more significant. When this game first came out, people assumed that because the fight takes place in the Bad Future version of the stage, that it means Little Planet canonically ends up in a bad future altogether, meaning that Sonic was unable to save it in CD. And Sonic 4's episode Metal, which released a little under a year after Generations did, seemed to confirm it, but at least in Generations, it makes more sense when you consider that this is just one of the many schemes that Eggman has rewritten to give himself an advantage over Sonic. It's the bad future, not because this was how it was always meant to be, but because Eggman has ensured that this time around, Sonic would have to face Metal Sonic here. This is especially evident in the rewrite, where Sonic specifically makes mention of the Time Stones being used to travel through time, which is only possible when collecting all 7 of them. If he knows what the Time Stones can do, he must have canonically collected them all and used them to ensure a good future. And this is only possible if all of them are collected specifically before this fight, because you're unable to collect any in Metallic Madness, the subsequent and final zone of the game. In fact, the ending of Sonic CD, no matter which one you get, shows Sonic and Metal Sonic racing in like what appears to be the present. So that fight might have never happened in a good or bad future anyway, right? This is off script, I'm just thinking about this now as I'm recording. The Death Egg robot makes an incredible amount of sense to be one of the canonical events Sonic has to face in order to restore the timeline. Not only is this the very first Death Egg, but it's presumably also the first time Sonic canonically turns into Super Sonic, and let me explain why that is. The very next game, Sonic 3, opens with Sonic turning into Super Sonic before arriving on Angel Island, meaning he already had all 7 Chaos Emeralds with him, and the only place he could have obtained them was during the events of Sonic 2, unless he just happened to collect them in between games on his own time for some reason. And the thing is, even if you collect all the Chaos Emeralds early on in Sonic 2, there's no specific point in which Sonic canonically uses them for the first time. In fact, you could collect them all and go the rest of the game without ever collecting 50 rings, meaning you would never see Super Sonic despite being in possession of all 7 Chaos Emeralds, and yet, if you have them all by the time you defeat the Death Egg robot, Sonic will turn into Super Sonic during the ending, meaning that would be the first time he ever actually does it. To add to this, I fully believe that this is the point in time where modern Eggman first kidnaps his past self to explain the plan, and that it's in fact modern Eggman that speaks to the Sonics in the mirror scene. Not only is this version of the fight suspiciously easier than its original incarnation, but classic Eggman genuinely seems scared of the Time Eater. And it makes sense why modern Eggman would choose his former self from this point in time. This is a Robotnik that just got his plans of taking over an island foiled by Sonic a third time. This is a Robotnik that is still hopeful enough to have fresh ideas, but is also driven enough to create the Death Egg robot. Speed Highway was a weird pick because during Sonic's story and adventure, Eggman has functionally nothing to do with why Sonic even visits this level. Something like Lost World or Final Egg would have made more sense because they're a lot more plot significant, but the thing is, that's only true for Sonic. When you consider that Speed Highway is where you race Eggman to stop him from activating a missile to destroy Station Square as Tails, the level's relevance suddenly makes a lot more sense. And we know this is a canon event in particular because it's the only event specifically from the first Adventure game that gets explicitly mentioned in Adventure 2. Tails beating Eggman here was the reason he was able to make the fake Chaos Emerald in the first place. The city awards the real emerald he based the fake on to him for his heroic actions, which would become very story relevant 23 years later. It also effectively kicked off the rivalry in Adventure 2, and though he was defeated here at the hands of Tails, the constant here is Sonic, so the stage still needs to roughly adhere to his version of events. What's also interesting to note is that there's a very iconic portion of Sonic's version of Speed Highway that's missing, commonly referred to as At Dawn, named after the track that plays during this area of the level. Only 3 characters visit Speed Highway in the original Sonic adventure: Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Where Sonic only visits At Dawn at the end of his stage, Knuckles' version takes place exclusively at dawn, and conversely, Tails is the only one of the 3 that never goes to this area. We only ever see it sort of in the distance at the end of modern Sonic's version of the stage, but we never visit that portion of the level outside of the challenge acts. Speaking of the challenge acts, something I find particularly interesting about them is that some of them take place at noticeably different times of the day than the original stage. There are Green Hill challenges that take place at sunset and at night, while Speed Highway has a challenge that takes place during the day. There are a total of 11 challenge acts with this distinct feature, which are Knuckles' Horde of Enemies, Swing Set Circus, Aerial Paradise, Cream Chow Hunt, Thunder Shield Challenge, Rite of Spring, Rescue the Animals, Rouge the Temptress, Endless Boost, Vector Pick Up the Beat, and Action Master. And even these have interesting things to take note of. The classic era has no modern challenges where this happens, whereas the modern era has no classic challenges where this happens. As well, both eras have one level that don't have this feature: Chemical Plant for classic and Crisis City for modern. And when you think about it, it kind of makes sense, right? You only need to complete one of the challenge acts to be able to get the boss key, and especially given who fights each boss, it makes sense that they would be the ones to collect those keys. As well, it's possible that the Sonics don't actually complete every single challenge act, and I'd like to direct our attention to Shadow Generations for a bit so I can explain why that is. In the cutscene Shadow vs. Sonic, which plays after completing Shadow's Chaos Island, we see that Sonic has already completed City Escape. He must have, considering that in his game, you can't fight Shadow until the entire era has been restored and you're given access to the challenge acts. But if you look at the City Escape text above the level entrance, you'll see that it's green, which is the color it would have if you get anything but an S rank in the stage, meaning that Sonic may not necessarily be giving it his all. If he's not S ranking the stages, he most likely isn't doing all the challenge acts. But can we determine which ones he is doing? Well, the short answer is no, of course not, but I think we could at least figure out which ones he likely did do based on how unique some of these challenges are. To start, considering that Classic Sonic's levels are considered Act 1 and Modern's are considered Act 2, it's safe to say that Classic Sonic doesn't rescue any of Sonic's friends, only Modern does. Even if Classic started his chemical plant later, he may have still finished first given how much shorter Act 1 seemed to be. As such, I don't think that Green Hill's Horde of Enemies challenge happens because Knuckles is in it. Why would Classic be surprised that there's a Modern counterpart of his if he already knows there's a Modern Knuckles? He does see Modern Tails, but maybe it just didn't register for him that it wasn't the Tails he knows? After all, Tails didn't realize that Classic Sonic looked different either. Instead, he could do Swing Set Circus, which takes place at night. I do think Horde of Enemies could give us a clue as to what challenge act comes next, though. If that one can't be done because it has one of Sonic's friends in his modern form in it, why not have the next challenge be one with a classic version of a friend in it? Chemical Plant's challenge could be Toxic Skies, as a sort of way to introduce classic Tails before he shows up later in the story. Considering that we see both modern Sonic and Tails at the Chemical Plant together after clearing Act 2, I could totally see the classics teaming up to complete a challenge act. Sky Sanctuary's challenge could be Aerial Paradise, which takes place at night, granting classic Sonic all 3 keys to open the boss gate, which he enters, with modern entering right after. Since we haven't fully transferred into modern Sonic yet, Classic could still be the one collecting the keys, but now that both eras are aware of each other, we could have him go through the Chow Hunt challenge against Cream set during the day. I think this is what made me hyper aware of the fact that time is still moving forward in these stages compared to the other ones. Like I mentioned, at the end of Speed Highway Act 2, we can see the dawn rising, and if the challenges are us revisiting these stages at a later point in time instead of them staying frozen in time, this is why this makes sense to me. Returning to the main stages, City Escape is an obvious pick to represent Sonic in Adventure 2, and it's for a very simple reason: the gun truck. After escaping from the city into another part of the city, Sonic fights against Bigfoot and meets Shadow, after which he's apprehended by the military. Here's the thing though, I don't think Eggman had anticipated this, but given his encounter with Amy and Tails on Prison Island, he must know they broke him out. What if Gun caught him again, except this time there was no one there to save him? It's no wonder the truck chases him in both versions and has the most prominent change. In Act 1, it chases you much sooner, stalking you throughout the level, whereas in Act 2, it's much faster and has an amalgamation of weapons to destroy you. And again, it's such a significant change that someone had to deck out that truck, you know? As for the challenge, there are two that take place during sunset, but I'm gonna give it to Thunder Shield Challenge for two reasons. For one, it could be seen as a canonical precursor to Sonic learning the homing attack by way of learning how to double jump first. The second and more decisive reason is because this challenge, unlike the other one, has a last-ditch attempt from the gun truck to capture Sonic. At this point, modern Sonic might be fighting Shadow, and we kinda know this from the cutscene in Shadow Generations, which is playing Act 1's music while modern is out in white space.
Leveling up in video games? Try leveling up your Oreo game. Just twist, flick, dunk.
Get the new Apple Watch when you switch to RBC.
While I like Seaside Hill, it always seemed like a bit of a boring choice to include for me. It was yet another first level, and though its Ocean Palace and Hydrocity components make it stand out, it still retains a lot of that Green Hill vibe, and I couldn't understand why they wouldn't choose something perhaps a bit more iconic, such as Heroes' later levels. But really think about it, the villain in Sonic Heroes isn't Dr. Eggman, it's Metal Sonic. Eggman gets locked up before the game even happens, and so this is a location from a game that's largely outside of his influence. Much like the next stage, this is where I feel like the time meter functioned perhaps a bit more independently than by anyone's control. On the other hand, Eggman could have followed the logic of, well, he's on his own this time around, he won't even be able to get through the first location. Another possible explanation is that this location was chosen less so because it's relevant to Sonic, but perhaps because it's relevant to Eggman. If his call to action to Team Chaotix had failed, he wouldn't have been freed at the end of their story and show up to sort of help defeat Metal Overlord. Seaside Hill Zone is interesting, however, for being the only level where both Act 1 and Act 2 have challenges set during different times of the day. I am, however, going to side with the Act 2 challenge, Rouge the Temptress, for a number of reasons. For one, Eggman wasn't really using critters to power his machines anymore by this point, and so would really have no reason to imprison them like we see in the Act 1 challenge, Rescue the Animals. As well, this is presumably right off the heels of Sonic's fight with Shadow, which, as we see in Shadow Generations, Rouge shows up right after. She could give chase to Sonic after this, leading to them teaming up for the challenge, which is later at night than the Act 1 challenge and fits the theme of teaming up with other characters that Heroes originally had. Perfect Chaos is a very interesting fight for the Dreamcast era, because now you have to fight it without the power of the Chaos Emeralds, but he shouldn't have their power either, negative or otherwise. Aside from the ones we've collected, the Emeralds are currently frozen in time, so how did Eggman manage to make Chaos into the mighty beast that not even he could control? Well, much like the level preceding this and the one we're about to talk about, I believe this may be one of the Time Eater's more independent effects. Events that may have required the Chaos Emeralds are unimportant because the portal is sending you to a point in time where their effects have already been utilized, and so don't need to exist. We'll touch more on this particular setup later, but for now, Sonic needs to face one of his mightiest foes without the tools that made it possible to succeed in the first place. But Sonic is much wiser and has different abilities, allowing him to use his natural speed to reach Chaos's weak point while navigating around the rubble as opposed to through it in this fight. Defeating Perfect Chaos is necessary for the full power of the Chaos Emerald to return to them, rather than to remain robbed of their negative energy, as well as so that Tikal can finally put Chaos to rest. Crisis City is not a location Eggman could possibly have known about, not only because the events that led to him sending Sonic there were erased, but because he had no idea when he had sent them to. Something else to note is that Solaris being erased effectively erases Iblis as well, meaning that there's no reason this place should even exist at any point in time. The thing is, while those events might have been erased, the fact that they happened at all couldn't possibly be. I believe this to be a location that the Time Eater detected on its own, and identified it as a potential point of victory for Eggman over Sonic had Shadow not been there to open a portal in time. And I mean, really, this place feels untouched by anyone. There isn't anything Eggman could really do to further his influence in this location, and it's reflected in the fact that none of the challenge acts for the stage take place at any other time during the day, despite the fact that we know different times of day could occur as seen through Silver's opening cutscene. Crisis City is a place that's stuck in time only as a part of Sonic's past. That being said, we've now transitioned into Modern being the one to complete the challenge acts, and I think the one he should do here is Blaze Piercing the Flames, not only because Crisis City is one of the levels you can play as Blaze in Sonic 06, but because it's a future she's also originally from. Rooftop Run seems like perhaps the most obvious pick from Sonic Unleashed, barring Eggman Land. Rather than choose a place where he'd already won, where Sonic had already restored most of the world and the power of the Chaos Emeralds, he's now invading Spagonia at a much different point in time. They're hosting a sort of world celebration, which we can see through all the balloons, the confetti, the world flags. It almost makes me wonder if this is from the point in time when Eggman stole the Gaia manuscripts from Professor Pickle and kidnapped him. As we know, Eggman losing the Chaos Emeralds when he expelled Sonic back down to the planet after using their negative energy to split the world was a bit of an accident. This could be his way for making up for that mistake. As well, Spagonia is one of the two areas, the other again being Eggman Land, where you have to take down the Doctor's Egg Cauldron, a flying vessel that tries to stop your progress. Classic Eggman could have reminded his future self of the brilliance behind his flying battery and opted to use it instead to also try to stop the Sonics. As for which challenge I think Sonic should tackle, I like the idea of him going through Endless Boost, as a reference to when the boost formula took over in the main series, showing the mastery Modern has over this ability now. Planet Wisp is the perfect final level for Sonic's journey in this game because thematically, it's the Sonic level that most reflects what the series has always been about, how industrialization is used to destroy nature. Planet Wisp is a level where both of these concepts, nature and technology, occur at the same time. Usually in levels, we see a relatively untouched area filled with badniks, or on the opposite end, we see entire locations built by Eggman. But Planet Wisp is a rare instance where we get to see a natural landscape actively being transformed into an Eggman fortress. And at least for me, there's no question as to why this moment in time was chosen. It was essentially the only part of Eggman's Interstellar amusement park that was unfinished by the time Sonic arrived, and was likely his primary source for the Wisps and their Hyper Go-On energy. Honestly, this may even be reflected in which Wisps you can use, as only two kinds are available to the player, the pink spike for Act 1 and the orange rocket for Act 2. This could be because the rest are already captured, or, since you collect these from capsules, indicative that this is the point in time where Eggman hasn't captured nearly enough of them. And I think it's no surprise why Sonic saving Planet Wisp is a pivotal moment in time. Without the help of the Wisps, Sonic likely would have died from the black hole during terminal velocity. The Planet Wisp challenge should no doubt be Action Master for similar reasons to the previous challenge. Action Master is a kind of ultimate test for Sonic, showing off everything he's able to do now. The challenge features every gameplay mechanic you've had to use throughout the game, from the lightspeed dash, to dash rings, to stomping, to grinding, to drifting, to egg springs, to regular springs, to electric walls, to balloons, to pulleys, to dash panels, to air trick panels, to air tricks, to homing attacks, to sliding, to boosting, to switches, to four-way cannons, to horizontal bars. Really, the only thing it was missing was the Wisps themselves. The final era boss is the Egg Dragoon, and this is the fight in Sonic Generations that gives us the most information as to how white space operates. What I think we have to note here is that while the other two bosses, and to an extent even the first two rivals, had changes to them, at their core they were still the same fights. Here, you have an Eggman mech that you fought before, but you've done so under completely different circumstances. For one, you're no longer fighting this thing as the Werehog. Secondly, Eggman admits after the fight that he recalibrated everything, meaning that not only is this the Eggman from a modern point in time and not the Eggman from Unleashed, but that the fight isn't just different due to gameplay circumstances the way the previous fights have been. This fight is different because it was designed to be. Instead of trying something new, Eggman iterates on something that almost worked, which is why everything in this game feels familiar, but fresh in particular ways, again, beyond the justification of this being a video game. The other piece of information that we get from this game is something I'd never noticed until my playthrough of the 2024 remaster, where, because this takes place on Eggman Land, you can look out the window and see that part of the world is still separated from the planet, effectively confirming that this takes place during the events of Unleashed, just under different circumstances. Really, during this incident, there's no reason for the Earth to be torn apart again, so it only makes sense that traveling to these particular points in time would place you at that moment in time, as if the entire event were being redone and everyone but the people involved are aware of it. It explains why the gun truck is chasing us again when it has no reason to. It explains why Spagonia is so busy celebrating despite our presence, why the Wisps need to be saved again, why Crisis City still exists.
When it comes to your cat, only Whiskas can make them go. take them to a place of happiness, joy, and plenty of Whiskas. For more.
Okay then.
Now, you might have noticed that I skipped over the rival battles, only briefly mentioning the Metal Sonic fight, and it's because there's something very interesting that happens here. All three of our rivals are not frozen in time like our friends are. They only appear when the challenge gates become active. And once again, Shadow Generations has a bit of an explanation for that. Kind of. You see, while it's never explicitly explained why Shadow and the characters in his story don't get frozen in limbo, there may well be something we can glean from it. The characters in Shadow Generations are all characters that are instrumental to Eggman's success. Or, okay, let me rephrase that. They are all indirectly responsible for some form of success for Eggman, and in that same way, I think them being here is completely incidental. Omega is Eggman's most powerful automaton. Aside from his brief decommission in Forces, he's never been defeated nor destroyed. Orbot and Cubot, in spite of their ridicule of the Doctor, are still the most loyal robots he's ever built, though that's not exactly a high bar. Big, or I guess more specifically Froggy, is responsible for furthering Eggman's plans during the Station Square incident by delivering one of the emeralds so Chaos could transform again, as well as being Neo-Metal's source to copy Chaos's data. The thing is, we know Eggman knows about and likely instructed Neo-Metal to do that as a test because he explicitly says that he has everyone's data as well as Chaos's power, which is what we see in the newspaper at the beginning of Team Rose's story. If he had been imprisoned by Metal before doing this, Eggman would have no idea about the Chaos data. His grandfather, Gerald Robotnik, was the man he looked up to, and in his own words, aspired to be a great scientist like him, but that admiration was shaken when he realized that his grandfather's final wish was to destroy the planet alongside everyone on it. Despite this, we see that he still holds him in high regard during the events of Shadow the Hedgehog. In Frontiers, we learn that Ivo never really knew much about his cousin Maria, but he's fully aware that due to her death, his grandfather went down the path he did, and so to preserve the man he so adored, his cousin came as a package deal. But what about Shadow himself? He doesn't exactly fit the profile of any of these, and has even gotten in Eggman's way before. Well, I believe there to be two reasons why Shadow was brought to Whitespace without being frozen. For one, he's in possession of a Chaos Emerald, one that luckily doesn't get frozen in time like the four you find around Sonic's Whitespace do. Secondly, and this one is a bit more of a wild theory, Eggman merely instructed the Time Eater to freeze everyone but keep Sonic alive. Like Tails said, Sonic is the one constant in all these locations, and Eggman can't rework any of his plans if Sonic doesn't exist. He may be the reason Eggman constantly fails, but without both of them, none of these moments in time would ever happen. The thing is, the Time Eater is a primordial essence. It doesn't know what a Sonic is. As far as it knows, Sonic is just a hedgehog that interfaces with the Chaos Emeralds the way Shadow can, the way Silver can, and the way Metal Sonic most likely can. And yet another reason I believe they're the ones that don't get frozen is because unlike the ones we get from bosses and the one we get after completing Planet Wisp, the emeralds the rivals hold aren't frozen in time. In fact, we learn that the Time Eater really has little control over the emeralds at all. It tries to take one and gets hurt by it, despite it being frozen in limbo like the rest of the world. As we learn in Sonic Rivals, the Master Emerald is a superdimensional object that exists at all points in time, meaning that if something happens to it in the past, it will exist that way in the future. I believe that the Chaos Emeralds being frozen in Limbo in Generations is meant to indicate something similar. The Time Eater can't interact with the emeralds, frozen or otherwise, because they're objects that transcend time. The reason I bring this up is precisely because of the first reason I believe Shadow, and by extension Metal and Silver, were brought to Whitespace, because all three of them were already in possession of a Chaos Emerald before we got here. Metal Sonic has one in the past, Shadow quite literally has one now, and Silver has one in the future. And yet, all 7 emeralds are here and accounted for, no duplicates. As we see with Shadow, it doesn't matter exactly when these characters are from or when they would have had these emeralds. Shadow is from the same time frame as Sonic, yet they still face off in a location from their shared past, through a portal that only opens once the two agree to fight for the emerald. Metal Sonic might be from the Sonic Drift games or Sonic R, which are the titles where you can play as Metal and collect Chaos Emeralds as him, but still face off against Sonic, much like Shadow, in a location from their shared past. Silver, on the other hand, you face off in a location both of these characters have been to, but only shared briefly. But let's finally talk about these fights and their relevance to the timeline and why I think they're here. The biggest reason I wanted to talk about the rival battles only now is that, while I do think these fit the convention of what the rules of Whitespace are, I don't think they do so on purpose. These encounters are not ones brought in by Eggman, but happen by chance through Sonic's encounters with these characters. Yet, in spite of that, they somehow do still stick to the rules we've seen so far. Shadow's rival battle recreates their climactic encounter aboard the Space Colony Ark at the end of both of the story paths in Sonic Adventure 2. The reason they're sent here and not to, for example, Green or Frog Forest is because this fight was what would decide if Sonic stopped Eggman from putting all 7 Chaos Emeralds into the Eclipse cannon and firing it at the Earth. The other 2 encounters had nothing to do with Eggman at all. Silver's fight is perhaps the most accidental of the 3, since this is an encounter Eggman wouldn't have even known about, which is extra telling because Eggman was certainly there during Sonic's encounter with Silver in order to kidnap Elise. The fight may happen in Crisis City because it's one location from a past alteration that they share that is closely related to Eggman's potential success. But even more than that, there's a little detail I think I've forgotten. You see, we have to ask why Crisis City exists in the first place, right? It exists because the flames of disaster were unleashed from Elise, and before Sonic and his friends return to the present day, coincidentally in the only scene where Sonic and Silver overlap in Crisis City, they find out that Elise dies aboard Eggman's battleship due to a critical engine malfunction that crashes the egg carrier, causing Silver's future, something unbeknownst to Sonic. Though it's less talked about, even if Eggman didn't die during the crash as well, he certainly didn't prosper in any meaningful way after Iblis was released. Crisis City is perhaps one of the most pivotal moments in Sonic and Eggman's history, because without the events that happen in it, Silver never goes to the past to meet Sonic, much less would he send him back in time to save Elise and Eggman from the egg carrier crash. But something that strikes me as odd is what Silver says. Sonic, is that really you, or are you some kind of fake sent for the Chaos Emeralds? Even with the events of 06 erased, Silver and Sonic are at the very least friendly at this point, given the events of Rivals. And though it makes sense that Silver wouldn't take any chances when it comes to protecting the Chaos Emerald because he knows how important they are, why would he suspect this? Metal Sonic's fight, despite what I said earlier about the rival battles happening outside of Eggman's influence, I think is the only one that happens on purpose. If the Robotnik from Sonic 2 is the one that gets kidnapped, it could stand to reason that they gave a Chaos Emerald to Metal Sonic to keep him from getting frozen by the Time Eater's effects, placing him in the one location that belongs to Eggman in order to ambush Sonic, explaining why there's no level from Sonic CD. Again, I don't think this fight takes place in the bad future for no reason. But given what Silver says, they possibly sent Metal to White Space in order for him to get the rest of the emeralds. Given that the other 4 remain frozen, it's safe to say that the Eggmen weren't in possession of them, but knowing how often Metal likes to go rogue, I wouldn't put it past him if he didn't even attempt to collect the emeralds and just waited in place for Sonic to get a chance to defeat him as he so often does. Which is also likely why the Time Eater tries to take one of them later in the story, only to be hurt by it. And the reason I believe this location is such a pivotal moment in time is because Metal Sonic is the most influential Sonic doppelganger of them all. During this adventure is when Eggman begins his obsession with controlling time, but without Eggman trying to rebuild Metal Sonic as his ultimate weapon in Heroes, some of the teams we know and love today likely wouldn't have formed in the first place. The last thing I want to talk about is the lair of the Time Eater, the final area we visit in Sonic's White Space. It's a rather odd place, and we don't learn much about it, nor do we spend enough time here to do so. What we can see is that the portal we enter through is quite large, larger than any Boss Gator level entrance, as if it were catered to the Time Eater itself. As well, the portal is attached at the base to what seems to be a building of some kind, which itself houses additional gears, almost as if it too were a clock of some kind. Something I'd always noticed was how bizarre this location is. So many gears and wires, components that obviously belong to a clock. But something I'd never noticed is that there seems to be a backside to the portal, almost as if it were attached to it. And then it hit me. What if this whole area was once a giant pocket watch? Like,
it knows it's not how great you are, but how great you can be. It is what fuels you. It is a switch ready to turn on. Gatorade, is it in you?
You're getting sick. It's not Mount Everest. It's just a set of stairs. Halls. Just breathe through it.
Like, it being a broken clock is obvious, right? But specifically, it almost looks like it was a giant pocket watch that had its components burst out of it, explaining why everything in the background looks so formless. Most of all, though, it explains why the gears are broken and why they need the Chaos Emeralds to repair them. This is kind of random, but do you remember in Sonic and the Secret Rings how the Eraser Djinn described the 7 world rings?
The 7 hearts that make up the stories. These are the 7 world rings that bind these pages together.
They make up the stories and bind these pages together. Now remember, the world of the Arabian Nights is a world completely separate from Sonic's, and it wouldn't be the first time we see 7 colored objects that are important to the stability of a world and allow the user to transform into a superpowered entity. In Sonic Rush, the Soul Emeralds basically serve the same function for Blaze's dimension and allow her to turn into Burning Blaze. When they were brought to Sonic's dimension, it created a tear in space-time, meaning that these objects are clearly important for the stability of their dimensions' respective existences. What then happens when the timeline is disrupted and the Emeralds no longer have influence over it? It's the reason that the Chaos Emeralds are what fit into the broken gears and are what is able to repair them. They are what hold space and time together in Sonic's dimension. In fact, the boss gates could all be seen as even smaller pocket watches, or even parts of that larger pocket watch itself. All of them come from where we fight the final boss, whom we find out was being controlled by Eggman this entire time. As well, all of them conveniently have a Chaos Emerald right outside of them, and the first two even have walls from the layer of the Time Eater beside them, almost as if these boss gates and the Emeralds had landed here after bursting out of the watch. And it makes sense that the Emeralds would be found at these gates. Think about it, Sonic had all of the Chaos Emeralds with him during each of those boss fights originally. What sets these three apart from every other time that's happened though, is that they're all from points in time where he restored power to the Emeralds. Destroying the original Death Egg was the first time he ever used the power of the 7 Chaos Emeralds altogether, while Perfect Chaos and the Egg Dragoon are both from different points in time where he was trying to restore their power, the same way he is now. And the reason why the remaining emerald is found outside of Planet Wisp is because that's an event from the latest point in the timeline, from both Sonic and Eggman's perspectives. In fact, thinking about it in this way makes even more sense when you consider that the red emerald is the only one that flings away upon its power being restored, almost as if it had originally been flung out of the latest point in the timeline. The others had already been flung, which is why they simply get drawn into Sonic when their power is restored. The layer of the Time Eater is where the essence of the timeline itself lays locked away, or perhaps where it was stored originally. It's why, no matter who you're playing as, you can find both modern and classic springs scattered about to access the gears. This is where everything emerged from. It's why the portal is so big. The Time Eater doesn't need to use this portal. It's deactivated when we get here, so we know no one's using it, and the Time Eater opens up its own portals to travel anyway, so why would the portal to its lair need to be so big? Well, it makes sense when you stop to think that all the places we visit would need to emerge from somewhere. And during the final boss, we can see bits and pieces of every level as part of the fractured time stream, meaning that this is likely where everything came from. Now, up until Shadow Generations, that would have been the extent of our knowledge as it pertains to White Space, but Shadow's story features an additional set of locations and bosses that further give us insight as to how this timeless void operates. What I think you'll find is most interesting, and the thing that led me to want to document this theory in the first place, is that while at first glance, Shadow Generations may seem like a celebration of Shadow's history, I believe it's actually still all catered to Sonic. This was originally going to be one big video, but I want to try to get it to you guys in as digestible a way as possible, so for that reason, I'm going to save the Shadow Generations portion of it for a follow-up. So if you like this video and want to be updated on when the next one comes out, please hit that subscribe button and make sure to share this video with anyone you think might find it interesting. Thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, stay safe and stay awesome, everyone.
Alright, awesome. That was a pretty interesting video about how the white space works. Okay, that was cool. That was cool. Alright, let's see here. Okay. Let's see. I was watching a little bit of this video yesterday. I don't remember this video having ads though. There's quite a number of ads. Do you have YouTube Premium or something? I wish. Don't brag why I don't have it. Very nice. It is very nice, yeah. Okay. Okay, wait a minute. Omega? What's up? Oh, well, what is it, Omega? What are the requests that you have? It's just some cover songs. What cover songs though? What cover songs were you thinking about, Omega? Check Matthew from SZB1. You know Matt from Vancouver? Yes, yes. You should be proud you have a guy from Vancouver and he's doing exactly, bro. I'm proud of him. Proud of Matthew. Okay, fine. We can check it out. I might save the rest of these videos for next week, honestly. Yeah, I think I shall leave all these I have it in my queue, so it's not like gone or anything like that, but it's just I might watch it next week. So we might just end it off with these covers. Die with a Smile covered by Zero Base One, Matthew and Tay Ray. I want to suggest a Post Malone song for the stream. Can I? Yeah, we can listen to like 3 songs or something. So Omega, I think you have like 2 songs you want me to check out, and then KR, you can give me Post Malone's. My camera's out of focus. Oh, it's probably because of the action figures that I was showing you. I don't know how to fix it though. Maybe if I do this or something. Wait for it. Okay. How about now? I need to let it I can't see. Do you see me now? Okay, I think you see me now. Right? Do you? No, it's still out of focus. Okay, well I think I just have to clean my camera or something then. Hopefully it gets better next time. If you want to know, people's still making fun of him as the Moo guy. It's so popular in the internet to grow your camera's on the focus. Camera covered by cheese hands. I stepped away for reasons. What happened? Nothing's happening. I think we're just gonna end things off, but to listen to like 2 or 3 songs. So 2 of them are gonna be covers, and then we'll check out a Post Malone song, and then I have everything else in the queue, and then I'll watch it next week. So I have everything locked and loaded for next week, and then if you have more suggestions, we can check that out next week as well. Also, I think next week, actually, let me see. I think next week I might do the stream on Saturday. Yeah, I'm going to... Yeah, I think I'm going to do it on Saturday. So next stream will be on Saturday and not on Sunday. So, that is also a thing that I should tell you guys. So it'll be on Saturday. I'm not sure what time yet, but around the same time that we usually start. And yeah, so it'll be Sonic Saturday, not a Sonic Sunday. I think I should say that as well. One more Iris lore video. Let me see. Which one was it? Oh, you want to okay, I think, yeah, we can check out Chapter 6. Yeah, we'll check out Chapter 6 for the Iris Lore video, and then listen to 2 or 3 songs, and then call it a day. So, yeah, I'll check one more lore video for you, Wyatt. And then we'll do our thing. I bet Saturday, cool. Listen to that, folks. Saturday, my rule trumps, yes. Saturday stream. Alright, let's check out Die With A Smile, covered by Zero Base One. And then Omega, let me know your other cover song that you wanted me to check out. And then I'll check out the Post Malone song. And then we'll end it off with an Iris lore video. So give me the second cover song that you want me to check out, Omega, and then we'll check that out too. A Saturday, yes, I'll do it on Saturday. I'm going to do next live stream on Saturday, not a Sunday. So that's just another what is it called? Update, I suppose. I already asked Nate's permission. He said it's okay. Okay, sounds good. Luge, you let me know, and we'll check this out. Until then, Die With A Smile, covered by Zero Base One, Matthew and Tay Ray. Let's check it out.
I just woke up from my dream where you and I had to say goodbye, and I don't know what it all means, but since I survived I realized Wherever you go, that's where I follow. Nobody's promised tomorrow, so I'ma love you every night like it's the last night, like it's the last night. If the world was ending, I wanna be next to you. If the party was sober and nighttime on us was through, I wanna hold you just for a while. And die with a smile. If the world was ending, I wanna be next to you.
Oh, lost, lost in the words that we scream. I don't even wanna do this anymore, 'cause you already know what you mean to me. And our love's the only one worth fighting for. Wherever you go, that's where I follow. Nobody's promised tomorrow, so I'ma love you every night like it's the last night, like it's the last night. If the world was ending, I wanna be next to you. If the party was over and our time on earth was through, I wanna hold you just for a while. And die with a smile. If the world was ending, I wanna be next to you. Right next to you. Next to you. Right next to you.
Damn, bro, they were they were really good, man. Oh my god. Oh wow. Okay, yeah, that was absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. He has amazing vocals, man. Just absolutely amazing vocals. Okay. All right, that was good. That was good. What was vocals? Matthew's vocals is really good, right? Yes, really good. Very impressed, man. The other one, very nice. Yeah, it was very nice. What was the second song that you want me to check out? Next, I change your quest. Okay, what is it then? What is it? Yeah, let's see it. TWS the Who cover Jung song, yes or no? I think I saw this in my recommendations. I don't know, actually, I can't remember. Okay. Okay, there's two. Okay. Oh, never mind. Okay, I got it. Okay, I found it. I found it, bruh. Oh, we're getting a video with it too. Okay. I think we're getting a video, actually. Alright. Let me put my screen up. TWS, yes or no, which is a Jungkook song covered by TWS Dahoon. Let's see this.
This is another love song, baby. It's my way of putting feelers out. All the traffic in my head's going crazy. I'm gonna trust my heart right now. And if it's better to bet on us, then I double down. And if we end up in bed, and I put the covers out. And if I'm wrong, I'll just bury my head deep underground. I gotta know, are you feeling the rush? If so, then I think I know what's going on. Now we're falling in love. Say yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Are you thinking about us? If so, then I think I know what's going on. Now we're falling in love. Say yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Everybody in this cup so faded. I'm tripping over, getting lost on you. If we forever started out as strangers, I think my ever after just came true. If you could see what I see, then let's see what it's about. We will go higher and higher, but we're not looking down. If it's a dream, there's no telling when I'll be coming round. And I gotta know, are you feeling the rush? If so, then I think I know what's going on. Now we're falling in love. Say yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Are you thinking about us? If so, then I think I know what's going on. Now we're falling in love. Say yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Something about you. Do you feel the way I do? There's magic in the room. Tell me, do you feel it too? Something about you. Do you feel the way I do? There's magic in the room. Tell me what we gonna do. Are you feeling the rush? If so, then I think I know what's going on. And now we're falling in love. Say yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. Are you thinking about us? If so, then I think I know what's going on. And now we're falling in love. Say yes or no, say yes or no, yes or no.
Oh, they both landed on yes. All right, let's go. Okay, that was a really good cover. Now, the thing that I am impressed with is them actually shooting a video for a cover song. I don't think I've ever seen that. You know, when you're making a cover song, it's usually them just singing it on a mic. That's about it for the video. But they actually decide to shoot like a music video, which is really, really interesting. And I would like to say he did really well. He did really, really well on that. I mean, Jungkook is an incredible singer, so to cover a song from him is definitely impressive, and making it sound so good as well. So that was really good. That was really, really good. The next song that we're checking out is a Post Malone song with DJ Khaled. What the heck? How come I've never seen this before? Oh, that's interesting. Hopefully nothing gets taken down. Okay, let's see this. That's all for today. Sounds good. Omega. Oh yeah, they did a music video of themselves for their covers. TWS and Team are basically the juniors of BTS. About BTS, they will return June all members. That's awesome. Good to hear. Good to hear. Alright, we're doing DJ Khaled, I Did It, featuring Post Malone, Megan Thee Stallion, Lil Baby, and Da Baby. What the actual hell? What is this lineup? What is this lineup, bro? 5 artists. Well, DJ Khaled doesn't sing, but 4 artists of different calibers, I would like to say. I mean, they're similar in some ways, but still different calibers. But it's not even that long of a song. It's only 2 minutes and 48 seconds. I don't know how they're gonna make this work, but I suppose we'll find out. They do some magic, so let's check this out.
We the best music.
The only thing that he says, bro, the only contribution he makes lyrically, bro. We the best music. Another one, DJ Khaled. Banger, bro. Absolutely banger. Let's just go.
Another one. DJ Khaled. Stayed down till I came up. I did it, I did it, I did it. 10 toes and never changed up. I did it, I did it, I did it. Got my hands in the air right now, cause I always want to hear right now. I did it, 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 I did it.
Take it out, being over, let me see
see it. If you're looking for a trill type bitch, let me be it. I'm from the south, never had a handout. Before I let my people starve, I'll take it out your mouth. These bitches so quick to switch up. I'm from the Lone Star, I don't need to click up. It ain't directed, so it ain't respected. Stop dropping clues, cause I ain't no detective, bitch. I'm trying to win, don't care how I do it, just know that I did it. Why you so worried about what I be doing? Counting my money ain't making you rich. Talking down on me don't make you the shit. How my name in your mouth more than your spit. I really encourage my haters to talk. Throwing that shade only keeping me lit. Huh.
Stayed down till I came up. I did it, I did it, I did it. 10 toes and never change up. I did it, I did it, I did it. Got my hands in the air right now, cause I just want to hear right now. I did it, 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 I did it.
Ain't no way DJ Khaled's helping Post Malone in the chorus. Ain't no way, bruh. Get the hell out of here. I am not believing this. I am not believing this. Ain't no way he helped out Post Malone in the chorus. What? What?
I did it, I did it, I did it. Got my hands in the air right now, cause I just want to hear right now. I did it, 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 I did it.
Oh my god, I think he actually is saying I did it 3 times. What? I am impressed, DJ Khaled. I am very, very impressed. I was not expecting you to say any more lines, but wow. You actually were helping in the ad-libs at least. Amazing. Good work, bro. Good work. Let's keep going.
God damn it, I get it. They don't like to see when we win, but I did it. Hey, I step on my city. Chopsticks sound like a guitar in the air. Stop and take a picture when I'm jumping off a leer. I didn't run it up, it only took a couple years. The money be calling if it wasn't for my little partner. Did the bullshit they be talking about, I wouldn't even hear. New sports car, go boom, switch gears. Hey, how you goddamn come here? Thought of going vegan, then again, I'm like, for what I got 10 carrots each in my living right here. 21 Tesla, I don't even got to steer my climax. I ain't even nowhere near it. I stayed down and I stayed down and I came up. I had faith in my spirit.
Stayed down till I came up. I did it, I did it, I did it. 10 toes and never change up. I did it, I did it, I did it. Got my hands in the air right now, cause I just want to hear right now. I did it, 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 I did it.
Diamonds on my neck, new contract, I ain't signing that hoe yet. Private plane flying, someone smiling on the jet. I drop hit after hit, that's the domino effect. These niggas out here going flat. Ain't no stopping it. Pink and blue paper all day like Monopoly. Brand new products, I'm proud of me. Actually came from the bottom, ain't no need even asking me. Ain't even seen the half of me, and ain't no passing, that's a no-go. Starting killer player, niggas out here throwing low blows. I done got good with the shit. I tell the paparazzi get my angle every time they take my photo. Another one.
Stayed down till I came up. I did it, I did it, I did it. 10 toes and never change up.
DJ Khaled thinking of a way to contribute more to the song. Another one. Add an ad-lib. Another one, bro.
I did it, I did it, I did it. Got my hands in the air right now, cause I just want to be here right now. I did it, 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 I did it.
Okay. That was that. Okay, that was I Did It, DJ Khaled featuring Post Malone, Megan Thee Stallion, Lil Baby, and The Baby. 2 babies on the track. Yeah, that was interesting. That was interesting. Not a bad song per se, but definitely an interesting lineup. But I didn't have any issues with the song. I think they all did their thing, and yeah, they had a fun time on it. So can't really complain. ZKW. Okay, ZKW's. Wait, what? Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, not a bad song. Pretty good. Pretty solid. Thank you for that, KR. And we'll end it off with a lore video from Iris. This time it being about Lost Now Found Chapter 6. So let's check this out and end things for today. The song is so sick. Megan Thee Stallion. Porsche does good. He does the chorus. What does DJ Khaled do? I've been alive 22 years. I've always just seen him get memed. I think he just makes, for the most part, the beats. Sean. That's all he does. You know, like how Metro Boomin and stuff like that. Like he's a producer. He does a producer. He makes the tracks, and then he gets features and stuff to do the vocals. Bro, I'm gonna play this song when I get a win in Fortnite. Do it, GOAT. I did. I don't really like rap much, but I'm too much of a metalhead. That's absolutely fair, Wyatt. No worries about that. Same Wyatt, though I don't mind rap. Bro, I'm a rap nerd. Okay then. You wanna keep doing one more Cobber G, only for certain artists though. Yeah, same Sean. As a reason I changed up the request because I'm worried about copyright, so it's all on UG. If you want to, you can see it. But I suggest delete the video out from the stream to avoid copyright. If you're scaring me like that, Omega, I don't want to see. You're scaring me, Omega. You're scaring me. Let's just end it off with the Iris, bro. Peak. Yes, peak indeed. All right, let's check out chapter 6, Lost Now Found.
He wakes in a strange room full of Brintulia, and a mist of lavender like hue shrouds him. He is no longer home, and his vision still remains clouded. As calm as he felt, uncertainty and discomfort still fills his body. He internalizes the pain and questions if he is supposed to feel like this, like a phantom anxiety with no cause. A whisper is heard in his ear, which brings him to attention. He turns to a strange figure on his left who stares down at him, with his hand held onto his forehead. Suddenly, Tyrant is able to regain consciousness and discovers it was the woman he needed. At long last, he smiles. A tear sheds from his eye. He has found what he was looking for. She greets herself as Lady Fate, next in line to the Velveta colony's hopeful new god to adventure through the Vegala system. She was a protector, rather delicate for her kind, but their whimsical science was unlike the Crimson Colony. They specialized in defenses built for planets much weaker than ours. It turns out Lady Fate was but thrilled to hear there was a rebellion forming against the deities, which surprised Tyrant. Surely, it can't be so easy to be persuaded. The Velveta colony are known for their stoic shells, but he was love-stricken nonetheless. This was a feeling unfelt for what seemed like a lifetime. They decide to form an alliance together and plan to crumble the deities down. One common goal: infiltrate their kingdom's castle walls, storm the brigade, and enter the palace's most treasured and tight-locked fortitude, holding the legendary emblem of archival, the Iris. What else are the deities hiding? How many lies have they given to their own people? All felt so lost, but soon was to be found once again.
Okay. That's what he means by lost now found. Okay, I got you. Yeah, that was awesome. Pretty damn awesome. Okay. Okay, I have some news for you before stream. And what is it, Omega? What's up, bro? What you got for me? Also, all of the other suggestions that you guys have made is in the queue, so don't worry, we'll watch it next stream. I have it all ready to go here. And yeah, so if you have more suggestions, let me know next week, and we'll get to that. But I do have the ones that you sent me this week or today, and we'll check that out next stream on Saturday, by the way. So please do keep that in mind. It is going to be on a Saturday, and yeah, okay. Let's see what Omega has for us now before we end this stream. It's about Beyblade X. What is Beyblade X, bro? What happened to it? They already announced the new opening and ending. Cliffhanger for you for Too Dangerous. Exactly, bro. You want to know who's the artist? Yeah, let me know, Omega. Who's the artist? Okay. Here, okay. He's typing. Omega has the whole list for us. TXT, one of the juniors of BTS. Is that isn't TXT Tomorrow X Together? I'm pretty sure we've checked out one song from them. I am pretty sure it's them, if I'm not mistaken. Unless it's a different TXT, then I don't know. And Ado from One Piece Red. Okay, I see. I'm going to a WWE event on Netflix tomorrow. Bro's gonna be on Netflix, bro. KR, you made it, bro. You made it, KR. I'm proud of you, bro. I'm proud of you. Being on Netflix now, man. Let's go. That's my goat, bro. Tomorrow X Together. Yes, okay, it is them. Okay, that's awesome. That's really cool. Wait, you did? Yes, I did one of the songs on them. What was the song called? It was with Ian Dior. Omega. I forgot what it was called, but it was a really good song. It was a really good song. One of the BTS juniors making a Beyblade song. Ah, neat. When I see Ado, I know this is going to be a banger. That's good. That's good to hear, Omega. It's always good to be excited for something coming in the near future. Her One Piece songs are extremely bangers. Goes hard than everything. Damn. Okay. That's good then. That's really good. I'm famous. Yes, you are, KR. KR is famous, bro. Going on Netflix and stuff now, man. You made it out here, bro. Made it out here. Yeah, so that's really cool, Omega. That's really cool. I got you, bro. I got you. I'll let you know when it releases. Got you, bro. So that sounds good. Let me know when that happens, and we can probably check it out. Maybe I'm guessing. Hopefully, because I mean it is Beyblade related, but maybe we'll try Omega, maybe, or maybe I'll just watch it in my spare time so I don't get copyright strike, bro. Even if you react to them, just to react to the tracks. Yeah, we should. Don't mention Beyblade in the title. I'll try it. I'll try Omega. We shall try to do it. But yeah, so thank you on 4 for 4. Yeah, I got you, bro. That is it for today, guys. So thank you for joining. Thank you for the comments, and thank you for the suggestions. I hope you all had a fun time. I had a really fun time. I hope you guys liked the action figures that I showed you and the cars as well. But yeah, it was really fun stream. I enjoyed, so I hope you guys enjoyed and had fun as well. There's one more artist named Jax Jones on Auto Song. He seemed like an English artist. Okay, interesting. I got you. And yeah. Sia Garcia White, thank you for being here. It was fun. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, KR. Thank you, Omega. Thank you, everybody else as well for being here, for the comments, for the suggestions, and the fun time. We'll be here back once again. Next stream will be on next Saturday, or this coming Saturday. And I'll see you then. But yeah, take care until then. But whatever, they cooked hard again for a Beyblade. Yes, they did. See y'all later. See y'all. All right, bye y'all. See you everybody. Take care. Thank you all once again, and I'll see you guys on a Saturday. So take care for now. I'll do my 10-second countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you all once again. I'll see you very soon. Once again, on a Saturday. Okay, it's on a Saturday. Take care. Goodbye for now.